I'm not going anywhere. This is my team, and it will be for the next however long I want to play. Some guys are going to just get in your face and scream at you. I don't learn that way, because I'm like, I don't. And what are we really doing? We're just saying loud words. I'm not going to yell at you. I'm not going to, try and show you up. Every game you can't go out there and score 30, score 21 points and, call it a day. I don't want anyone to take anything away from the play that he made because it was very impressive. You have to give them the credit because they did a good job on this.
But the thing that I like this week, that was better than last week, nobody gave up. So
at the end of the day, I've been doing this long enough to know nobody cares, even if that's the case.
Is that a certainty your quarterback is he in?
I'm not going to get into all the next year scenarios. I'm just going to say that 7-9 is a step forward. Statistically, I think we took a step forward. We got to get a lot of guys healthy, and we got a lot of things to look at and evaluate before we start making any assumptions.
Negative 47% chance that they were going to draft somebody in my mind.
I think it's time for some fresh air.
What's up, Raider Nation? I'm Hardcore Raider. Before I get into Derek Carr and some other stuff, I do want to announce that this Davante Adams jersey right here is going to be given away. It's going to be given away Saturday, Thanksgiving weekend. So you'll have to be live in the chat, and we're going to give that jersey away to someone who's subscribed and live in the chat. So make sure you guys are there for that giveaway. All right, so Raiders lost today to the Colts. We lost to a high school football coach, and it's pretty upsetting. I kind of expected a loss, but I really want to talk about some of the stuff with Derek Carr. We got Gabriel in here, Raider 7528. Hey, what's up, fellas? Hope you guys are doing good. Didn't have high expectations going into this game, but, the main thing I want to talk about is Derek Carr. So, and if you guys know Derek Carr, have him watch this. Like, he needs to, hear some, real fucking shit, man. Him being emotional and stuff, I respect, the heart that he has for this team and how much he cares. But sometimes it takes more than just that. And I did a video about it was before COVID. It was, 4 years ago or something, talking about Derek Carr and leadership. And just watching him, it kind of breaks my heart that he's this emotional, but some of this is on coaching, a lot of it's on coaching, but some of it's also on the leader of this team. So, I'm curious what you guys think, but I'm also going to give my opinions of what I think about it. Now, I said a lot of things in that leadership video about Derek Carr, but one of the things is sometimes, as a man, sometimes that you have to go against the grain. If your leaders are setting you up for failure, you have to be able and willing to go against the grain, and I think that's part of it. If he's at a point where he's got to go to press conference to call out the team, I don't know if Derek Carr thinks his days are numbered here or something like that, but it shouldn't have escalated to this point. I mean, you should not be a 2-7 team and lose under the circumstances that we've lost for you to get that emotional. I don't think he's a crybaby. I think he's a tough dude. But I do think there's some key elements to this situation that it's not all on on him. I think he could definitely play better, but in the intro, the videos that I showed, those were years old, and that's straight from the horse's mouth. That's him saying well, he's not going to yell at someone and, get in someone's ass and stuff like that. But the reality is maybe you need to, here's the reality of the leadership of this football team, right? Because this is really important for people to understand is that, one, we had John Gruden, who was extremely aggressive coach. He would be yelling at you, digging your ass and stuff like that. And now we went from a really aggressive coach and leader to now a very passive aggressive leader who, Josh McDaniels straight up said he's not going to flip over tables and stuff. So if you go from one coach that's going to yell at you and stuff to another coach that's just going to kind of let you do whatever you're, he's just going to let you hang yourself. He's going to let the players and the team literally he's going to sit back and let people fucking fail. And that's bad leadership. As much as Derek Carr, I think, needs to play better at times, to say the least. That's terrible leadership from someone who's supposed to run this organization. And, oh, sorry, Raider Nug, you're just about ready to go to sleep. I know. I'm not going to be on here very long. But, I think it's important to understand some of these contexts of, the leadership. When you go from someone that's really aggressive to now someone that's passive, I've had passive-aggressive leaders, and, they won't say much. They'll, kill you with silence, So, they won't tell you if you're doing good. They won't tell you if you're doing bad, and you just won't fucking know. And so, but as a leader, sometimes, you have to go against the grain. Derek Carr, if he, he's the top-paid guy. This is my main critique with Derek Carr. He's the top-paid guy. You have to dig in that ass. You could say, oh, I don't want to be this, I don't want to be that. Dude, then you shouldn't be a quarterback. Because you being the leader of the team, and to me, it's little things. If you're doing Bible studies with team players or people on the team and stuff, I even have an issue with that because that's a conflict of interest. Even though I believe in God and stuff, that's a conflict of interest if people don't, and they're gonna think you're fucking favoring people. You're given, carpooling with Hunter Renfrow. Conflict of fucking interest. You cannot do that shit as a fucking leader. You can't. There's a reason why there's a chain of command. When I was in the Army, there's a chain of command and why shit operates under certain circumstances. And the guys that are higher up, you don't wait until you're put in a leadership role to step the fuck up to the plate. You don't. You step up to the plate, and then if you get compensated for it or you get promoted, so fucking be it. This dude is getting paid way too much money to be this emotional, us to be 2-7, to have it get to a point where he's fucking breaking down in a press conference. Now, I get it. He's emotional. He probably knows his days are numbered and shit. But, he's got to fucking fight, man. He's got to fight for everything he's got. And fuck that, I'm just going to show you shit. That shit only goes so far. Yes, you have to show people by your actions. Absolutely. Okay? But you also have to sometimes do more than just your actions. If someone's fucking up, you got to call them out on the fucking spot. You get paid that kind of money. You got to be that fucking guy. So here's my question to Derek Carr. You're emotional. You're upset. Big fucking deal. What the fuck are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with all that emotion? That's my question. Because you can have that emotion. What are you going to do with it? You can use your actions, and you can start digging in motherfuckers' ass. You're the leader of the team. If people see you and you're just you're showing by your actions, but you're not verbally, because here's the thing, dude, this coach said, Josh McDaniels said, if I have to flip over a table or say a speech to get someone motivated to play, well then, maybe they shouldn't be in the NFL or some bullshit like that. Well, first of all, I don't exactly agree with what the fuck that coach said, but that tells you right there that our coach is not the coach that's going to be there to motivate the fucking team. So someone has to do it. And it should be the guy that's making the most money on the team, the top leader, the one that everybody looks to. I mean, let's go back to something real fucking stupid here, okay? It's small, but it's important. When you have a rookie, Jonathan Abram, on Hard Knocks, call out Derek Carr about how much money Derek Carr was making, and when they were all sitting around the table, I don't know if you guys remember this, and Jonathan Abram said, well, your kids are going to be set up for good, blah, 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 something about Derek Carr paying the bill or something. Derek Carr should have put his ass in check right fucking there. Why? You have a rookie testing your fucking leadership. You squash that shit now. You do not let that motherfucker or anybody fucking come at you when you're supposed to be the top dog of the fucking team. Fuck no, because it's like a cancer. It's like an evil fucking seed, man. You have one person that starts fucking doing that shit, everybody's gonna walk all over you and take advantage of you. And they won't try as hard. Not everybody needs a foot in their ass, but there are people in this world that straight up are lazy as fuck and they need a foot right up their fucking ass. to the point where you pull your foot out and your fucking shoe gets stuck in their fucking ass. So instead of fucking crying, he's got to get to a fucking breaking point to step the fuck up. And I'm at a point where I'm just like, I've been over it for years. Because I've been repeating the dead fucking horse shit for fucking years. You cannot always be a fucking nice guy. You can't be everybody's friend. Nobody's ever gonna like you. People don't like me. I don't fucking care. Fucking kick rocks, go do something else. I don't fucking care. I'm gonna keep being me. I'm gonna keep driving the fuck on. I worked all weekend and shit, busting my ass, getting off work late, and I'm doing a video right now because this shit is fucking important. I like Derek Carr. I do think he has something in him that can make him be great, but he settles for fucking mediocrity, and it pisses me off because I've seen a lot of people like that. I'm tired of fucking this guy that's supposed to lead the fucking silver and black, lead us to a Super Bowl. He gets to a point every time, new coaching and stuff. Well, I'm just going to do what the coach wants. I'm just going to do what the coach wants. I'm just throwing the ball where the coach wants. Enough of that fucking bullshit. Be a man and do what you know is fucking best and fuck everybody else. Because sometimes you got to be that guy. Sometimes you got to take the crown on your head, the fucking shoulder pads on your shoulders, and heavy as head that wears the fucking crown. Sometimes you got to be that guy and step the fuck up. And maybe you are partially, and maybe at times, but not enough. When the chips are down and they're stacked against this team, you got to be that fucking guy. And if you're not that guy, the only thing you got to fucking cry about is the fact that you had so many years to be that fucking guy, and you weren't. And we didn't lose this game just because of Derek Carr. Our coach is fucking dog shit. I'm tired of fucking dog shit coaching. I'm tired of fucking leaders that set their players and people up for failure. And it happens all the time, no matter what workplace. Dude, I had 10 years of management. And you know what I realized? One of the key elements I realized in fucking management is this. Sometimes it comes down to three things, usually, right? Sometimes it has something to do with training. Someone needs training, right? If there's an issue or a problem, okay? Sometimes you have people that aren't very smart, okay? And then you have a situation where someone is saying, fuck you behind your back. Well, guess what? I can deal with a dumb person. I can deal with someone that needs trained. I can't deal with insubordination and someone that's going to say, fuck you behind my back no matter what I do to fucking help them. That person is self-destructive, and they are going to have to go down their own path on their own. And those three scenarios, it's almost always that way. But no matter what, in those three scenarios, there's also this. Did I set my people up for success, or did I set my people up for failure? Because that's important. A lot of shitbag fucking shitty-ass leaders and managers set their people up for failure, delegate whatever, and they never gave their people the tools for success. And they'll keep making the same mistakes, which is what? What does it mean if you keep making the same mistakes in life, but you expect a different result? It's called fucking insanity. So how many people go through life being literally insane because they keep making the same mistakes? And you see it in workplaces and businesses everywhere. And they put Band-Aids on little problems and shit, but they never fix the problem. They never fix the root of the problem. You know why? Because a workplace or football or a team or whatever the fuck it is, you may have 5 issues. It could be offense, it could be defense, it could be special teams, it could be play calling. I mean, there's a whole list of them, right? Well, if you have 5 problems, guess what? Each problem breaks down into another maybe 3 or 5 problems. And then each of those problems breaks down into another fucking, I call it the spider web effect. Okay? Because each major problem has a bunch of ripple effects, okay? Like a spider web that just branches out. And all these leaders and managers, they always try to tackle the 5 main problems. That's how they go about it. But they never fix the problem. They just put Band-Aids on shit. And so when a company or a team, when you have enough fucking problems and those Band-Aids become to a point where you can't keep putting little Band-Aids on these fixes, they become artery wounds. In artery wounds, you will fucking bleed to death. So how do you correct a real problem, no matter what team environment it is, to permanently correct it? Because we don't have to live life being insane. We don't. I mean, maybe me being a Raider fan makes me pretty fucking insane to get this kind of abuse of through all these fucking years. But I'll tell you how you correct it. You can't start at the top, okay? You have to start at the back end of the spider web. And you work your way back through those problems, and they won't be fixed overnight. It could take 3 to 6 months. It could take a long time. But you have to do like reverse engineering. You have to reverse engineer that shit to figure out what the problems are, and eventually you'll get to the main problem, and you'll tackle that one. And hopefully you get to a point in a company or a team environment where you work reverse engineering, like I explained, and you get to these major problems, and then you get to a point where now it's more of a maintenance mode, okay? Maybe it's like for football, maybe it's the drills, maybe someone not holding on the ball good enough. Oh, we got to do some extra drills for hold on the ball. Maybe they're not stripping the ball. Maybe they're not catching. We need to do more catching drills. They're not running their routes right. We need to run more routes. I mean, that's more maintenance mode. But like our team, we're not even fucking close to maintenance mode. And we're in week 9, dude. How are we in week 9? We just got our ass kicked by a fucking high school coach, man. Fuck, we're all like playing JV football and loving the Raiders. And, you know, for like, it's to a point now where it has me so emotionally exhausted because what this team had in front of them and the talent they had, you know, they had a chance to do some really good things. And it upsets me because I do believe Derek Carr could succeed with us as the Raiders. But if the coach is setting him up for failure, okay, because I believe that's fucking going on. If that's going on, you got to say, fuck it, man. Your career is on the line. You got to have the balls to step the fuck up and say, fuck it. Stop throwing the ball where he wants you to throw it. Throw where you know. You've been in the league 9 years. Throw the ball where you know you need to fucking throw it. You don't need him to fucking give you a fucking back massage and shit before you can fucking throw the ball, and stop trying to please everybody, man. Fuck it. Go balls out, man. You only got one fucking shot. And this might be your last fucking year with the Raiders. So what are you going to do? The fuck are you going to do, Derek Carr? Because crying only goes so far. You got to turn those emotions into raw fucking tenacity and do more than just show. You got to do way more than just show. You got to dig in that motherfucking ass. And John Gruden did it for you. Congratulations. But he should have never had to be that guy. What did Gruden say? I want better fucking execution. I want better fucking execution. Why the fuck was he saying that, huh? That should have lit everybody up. Knock on wood if you're with me. What? Everybody should have been like, whoa, you know? Like, just shook your soul. That's what this fucking team needs. They all need a motherfucking kick in the ass. And if Josh McDaniels ain't got the fucking balls to do it, somebody has to be that guy. Stop being a back burner pussy. I'm worried about my family, my fucking paycheck. Fuck that shit. You can't be that guy. Because guess what? You ain't gonna get that fucking shot no more. It's a firecracker and the fuse is lit and it's fucking going and now you can feel it. The heat is on, motherfucker. And it shouldn't have taken this. It shouldn't have taken last year. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It should not have taken our coach getting fired, Henry Ruggs in fucking jail, Damon Arnett fucking shooting fucking guns off or showing guns being a jackass to get Derek Carr to step up to be the leader. Derek Carr got interviewed about that, and he straight up said, well, no one else was there to be the guy, so I guess I have to be the guy. Fuck that shit. You should have known instantly before Gruden ever got fired, you got to be that guy. And not just some pregame speech. When people are down on the sidelines and the chips are stacked against you, you got to be that fucking guy. And if you're not that fucking guy, you ain't going to be here. And I don't even like Josh McDaniels. I think he's a fucking piece of shit. I hate leaders that set their people up for failure. You know what my motivation was? I'll tell you guys, man. I had so much bad leadership through the years. Terrible managers, man. And this shit motivated me to, one, learn how to be a manager and be a good leader to people. I'm an asshole sometimes, but I set people up for success. Okay? I'm a problem solver. I figure shit out, and I figure out how to set them up for success. Okay? And the other thing, after I dedicated the years to management, that helped me run my own business, what I do right now. So all that fucked up shit and adversity that I had been through in my life, dude, that was fuel. That was like food for me because it motivated without me going through all that fucked up shit that I went through in my life and fucked up jobs and people that just are terrible fucking leaders. It motivated me to be like, I want to be a manager because I know I can be a better leader than all these fucking people. And I got tired of people setting other people up for failure. We were in Iraq. Tell you a quick story. We were in Iraq, right? And there's a lot of power trippers in the Army, a lot of people with management positions, you know, leadership roles, sergeants and shit that have no business being a fucking leader. Absolutely none. But when you're deploying, they'll promote anybody, okay? So we're in Iraq, okay? We're getting the fucking shit blown out of us. We lost 3 vehicles in 45 minutes. At this point, we had lost 13 vehicles in 28 fucking days. But at this point, I think we had lost like 5 or 6 vehicles. Wasn't as bad yet, okay? And we had this fucking dude come running up to where we were at, and we were pulling cordon security, essentially just pull security in an area. He comes running up yelling, Durka, Durka, fucking all this shit. And I'm about ready to shoot this fucker in the face because he's running at us. I don't know if he's got an IED vest on or if he's going to blow us up. And I don't speak fucking Arabic. I'm yelling for the interpreter because this dude's running at us like full speed. I'm like, you better get the interpreter. I'm yelling as loud as I can. I'm going to shoot him. I'm going to fucking shoot him. He's going to go fucking down now. Comes up, tells us these fucking insurgents, like a mile down the road, kidnapped his dad, who is like some leader of some village and shit. And he knew where some IEDs were planted. So because his dad got kidnapped, now he wants to tell us that there's some IEDs planted that were ready to blow us up. Like, what a fucking piece of shit, right? You know, but that's how these fucking cocksuckers are. So my sergeant gets the bright fucking idea that we need to go on foot to find these IEDs. And there's a job title for this. It's called EOD. It's a bomb squad, essentially, that's supposed to go and find bombs, you know? And they got special equipment for that shit, and they get paid a lot more money. They get like $20,000-$30,000 bonuses, you know? Not that there's no price on someone's life, but I'm just saying, like, they have a specific job title. So my sergeant gets the wild hair up his ass, and we're going to go try to find these fucking bombs that are supposedly somewhere. So we're on feet, you know? And I got a bad feeling about it. I'm like, man, I don't know. Usually, I wasn't scared and shit, but like this was just like some weird. Just the whole fucking thing was weird, man. And because I don't trust these motherfuckers, dude. They'll set you up where you go somewhere, and then they'll blow you up. So, anyways, we're on foot, kind of go down to this little village, walk around. There's trash everywhere and shit, and there's canals, and so we walk kind of in the distance on the field, and then we come back and we're on the road. And I'm like kind of off to the side of the road because I'm looking for loose dirt and I'm looking for wires. And my sergeant yells at me, and he's like, you know, come stand right fucking next to me. And I'm like, what? I'm like, you know, I can't refuse because that'd be insubordination. I get Article 15, and my ass would be fucking fried. So I'm like, okay, Roger, Sergeant. And he's like, hey. He's like, what's that there on the ground? And it's like some loose dirt. And he wants me to fucking, like, peel back the dirt to see if there's an IED right there. And I'm like, you fucking serious? You want me to start digging to see if there's a fucking bomb right here? Like, we ain't got a shovel or nothing. So I'm like, dude, this guy is out of his fucking mind. You know, like, we're all gonna fucking die. And you're supposed to be spread out. Like, if you had a road, you're supposed to have a soldier every, like, 15 meters, and then you're supposed to be staggered, okay? So you're not all supposed to be bunched up in a group. The reason why, if a bomb goes off, you're all fucking dead. If you're spread out, at least if a bomb goes off, not everybody dies, okay? So, and I'm going to get to my point, because this is fucking important, okay? So, I remove the dirt, and I'm, like, rough with it. Because I'm like, if I'm going to die, I'm going to fucking die right now. Let's go. And fucking just, like, rough with the dirt. And he's like, all right, there's nothing there. On the next one. So, we go to the next one. And then he's like, all right, I'll get this one, you know? And he, like, removes some dirt. And, like, what a pussy, man. Like, you don't have the balls. You're the leader. You don't have the balls to do the first one, but now you're like, well, since I did it, you know, now you're going to do the fucking second one, okay? And then the third one, we had one of the other guys, and he ended up removing some dirt, and he found an IED, okay? And luckily, it wasn't. There's a few different types of IEDs, but these were called anti-tank mines. So they're pressure plates. You step on them, or it has to be a certain amount of weight, but like a vehicle runs over them and they'll explode. Okay. And we had one guy die and burn to death in a vehicle from one of these fucking anti-tank mines, and we had a lot of the vehicles getting fucked up from these things. So it was kind of fucked up shit. And then the guys on the other side of the canal, that was part of my platoon, they were searching for another IED, and they found one too. So we found two. And then we called EOD. That's kind of funny, huh? We found out EOD after we found the bombs. But the point is that there was a sergeant first class there, a staff sergeant, a regular sergeant, and then another sergeant. Okay, so was that 4 sergeants, and all of them are the leaders. Okay, now when you're in the Army, they do some really sadistic, like fucked up shit where like unless you're in a leadership role, where they don't want you to speak up and say anything, even if you're saying the right thing to do. So you get to a point sometimes where you're like, well, I'm not going to step up and say anything, even if I know what we're doing is wrong. Because, like, you're going to get your ass, like, fucking handed to you kind of thing. So none of those leaders said, like, hey, we need to spread out so if there is a bomb, we don't all blow up. We were all bunched up. All fucking, like, 7 or 10 of us would have been fucking smoked. All of us. And so I was at a point from bad leadership where, like, I didn't step up and say anything, but I saw it. I knew it. I had the integrity. There was something inside me. Something ain't right. We should be spread out. This is not fucking right. Okay? We're lucky. I'm lucky I didn't fucking die. And that wasn't the first time I dealt with some fucked up shit like that. But, that was a pivotal point in my life. Now, football and other shit, it's not life and death. But afterwards, and especially after I got out of the Army, like, I really thought about that and about, like I made a commitment to myself that if ever put in a situation again where I'm at a point where I'm not willing to step up for, like, the rights of other people or, like, integrity, or to say something when I know it's right, then, I need to fucking do it. Like, I can't just sit there and not fucking say something. And so I have throughout my life. I've put my neck on the line. I've been in trouble more than once. My mouth get the best of me or something, but it's always because it's what's best for the fucking team. And that pivotal situation, even though the other ones weren't life and death, that pivotal situation taught me something, because it made me realize, like, how fucking terrible of leaders there are out there, and they don't have the balls to step up and fucking say something. And I should have fucking said something, because we could have all been dead, and you had 4 other leaders and nobody said shit. And here's the thing. This isn't like an anomaly. If you're in the Army and you're fucking infantry, it's like this is basic training, basic as it gets. When you're ruck marching, you're road marching, everybody's always spread out. So everybody should know it. But nobody had the balls or the integrity to say anything. And shame on me, even though I didn't have the rank at the time, shame on me for not having the balls to step up. I wanted to. Everything inside me was like, I gotta fucking say something. But there was something inside me that was like, oh, you don't want to get Article 15. You don't want to have your paycheck taken from you because they'll take your money, And I was like, I ain't going to say nothing. But that was shame on me. And from that moment on, I made a fucking oath to myself that given any circumstances, if it comes between me and what's best for any team, that I will sacrifice, like, my fucking credibility as a human being to stick up for what's best for the fucking team. And that's what real fucking leaders do. Not the fucking shitbag, cocksucking people that just kiss ass. That's what Derek Carr's doing. He's kissing ass. He's got to stop it. Or he's not going to have a fucking career, at least with the Raiders. There's enough yes men in the world. You don't need your quarterback to be the fucking yes man. You need a guy that's going to go against the grain. And if you know you're getting set up for failure, if you know, like, fucking if somebody is not doing the right thing, you got to call it out, man. You got to stop being a scared little bitch. Be a fucking man. Stop worrying about your wife, your kids, money. Fuck that shit. Because guess what? You ain't going to have none of that. You might have your kids and your family, but you ain't going to have that money and shit And that's the problem. People get a conflict of interest. Even people that do fucking Raider YouTube videos. Oh, I'm more worried about being politically correct and my subs and how much money I'm going to make off these videos. I don't make any money. I don't want to make money off YouTube. I make money doing my own thing. Now, I do want to bring Unity Raider Nation and have, like, content creators on. But sometimes, I'll be honest with you guys, they won't even join, even though they know, like, we put out good content, because they're worried that we're going to steal their subs, or it's a conflict of interest to their fucking wallet, because they're more worried about getting paid. And I say, fuck that shit too. Like straight up, man. Like, so it's fucked, man. I mean, the situation we are in as an organization, I saw this shit coming like week 2, man. And here's the thing. Josh McDaniels, he's been like keeping his foot on the gas and shit on teams for like 20 years. All of a sudden he comes to the Raiders and he forgets how to like complete games and win games and adjust, you know, and all this shit. And he does this lame duck, passive aggressive fucking, oh, I forgot, and like, you know, everything's okay. Fuck that shit. This guy is a fucking piece of shit and he's as fake as it fucking gets. You know, now maybe his play calling's a little better than Gruden. You know, Gruden's was pretty predictable, but at least Gruden kept it fucking real, okay? I think, at least, for the most part. I mean, I felt like Gruden at least, like, cared. It was truly genuine. I don't even think Josh McDaniels cares. He's, like, okay with fucking losing, you know? You ain't gonna flip over a table. Dude, we ain't fucking donkey country. We're Raider Nation. We flip over tables for a fucking living. Like, Adam Sandler, we eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. It's just... I smell a lot of bullshit with this fucking team, and it really pisses me off. You know, and it does piss me off. Like, I'm saying stuff to Derek Carr, but it pisses me off that he's let himself get to this fucking point. That's what really pisses me off, because he shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to. Just step up, man, and say, go balls out and fuck it. And maybe he'll never be that guy. I've had hope for years that I thought he would be. You know, it wasn't until, 3-4 years ago, like, I jumped off the Carr train, you know? But, you know, if guys aren't, like, producing and they aren't trying hard enough in practice, he's got to get it taken care of, man. He's got to be that guy. Because our coach is not going to be that guy. Our coach is literally going to let everybody hang themselves. He's like, our coach is over here just going to let everybody fucking, you know? And no, it ain't going to work. Like, we are going to keep losing until somebody takes that leadership role. And if Derek Carr won't fucking be that guy, he's got to take those emotions. I've cried too, man. I'm sure all of us have at some point. You got to take those emotions and you got to put them into action. And not just action, but you got to use that when someone fucks up on a play. Hey, man, come on now. We need better. We need better than that. Let's go, man. That's not okay. Do it again. Do it again. You know? And keep fucking doing it and keep grinding these fucking guys, man. Especially, and here's the thing, right? Here's the last thing I want to say about Derek Carr, and I'll read some comments, dude. But, like, dude, you're not crying when you're raking the Raiders over for $35 million a year, and you're not worth $35+ million a year. You know, where's your fucking tears when we're going to be paying you next year 35 and then 43 or 44 million, man? I mean, you ain't crying then, are you? Huh? Team-friendly deal, my fucking ass. So, dude, like, even though I kind of feel sorry for him, another part of me is like, no. No. Fuck that shit, man. Don't be a fucking bitch. I don't give a fuck who's in here or whatever, man. Like, he is not sorry that he's raking us over the coals and we're paying him way more than he's worth. He's not worth $35+ million a year. Maybe $25 million a year. Maybe. Okay? And if he wanted to do a team-friendly deal and be a Raider for life, he would have done it, and we could have got extra talent to make this team fucking get where we need to be. Because we need more than just better coaching and better play calling. We need some fucking talent, especially on D-line and O-line, dude. You can't do that when you're paying, first of all, because there's a bunch of them, I know. But first of all, Derek Carr, that kind of money. Second of all, I think Devontae Adams is worth it, and I think he'll earn his paycheck. So I ain't going to go there, but that's still a lot of money. Take up the cap space. And then Hunter Renfrow, he's definitely not worth $15 million. And then you got Darren Waller. Fuck, man. I think Darren Waller could be worth it if he was healthy. But, like, we haven't got any production out of that. And, like, all those guys got pay raises. All of them got pay raises. For what? Mediocrity? And this whole Darren Waller rebelling against Derek Carr, whatever the fuck's going on, somebody got to squash that shit fucking too. And it should be Derek Carr. Like, hey, dude, hey, bro, you got a fucking problem with me? Do we need to fucking, like, go talk about this shit outside? Like, what the fuck, man? And they need to handle that shit fucking one-on-one or whatever. But anybody, if it was Jonathan Abram was in the locker room and he was talking shit to Derek Carr just like he was in Hard Knocks, no, man, you can't have those motherfuckers, man. I'm telling you. I've been in fucking team environments, and they're like evil seeds, man. Then everybody will start doubting it, and then they'll stop trying and all that shit. If you got cancers in the locker room, they gotta fucking go. We seen it. This is literally a 2017 fucking replay. You guys realize that? 2017 replay. What happened in 2017? Oh, we played the Washington Redskins, and then essentially the offensive line and some other guys fucking like kind of stopped trying, you know? And then we got a similar situation now with that. Derek Carr got his contract extension in 2017. Derek Carr got his contract extension in 2017. Derek Carr this year, 2022, got a contract extension. Derek Carr, 2017, had a back injury. Derek Carr, 2022, back injury. Like, what the fuck? How could it be like a mere... This is like the Twilight Zone, dude. How could this be a mere fucking replay of 2017 and 2022? I want to know. Because... And guess what also happened? Derek balled out, took us to the playoffs 2016. 2021, Derek Carr balled out, took us to the playoffs, right? And then 2017, Derek Carr sucked. 2022, Derek Carr so far, not great. I'd say okay to good. Maybe sucked to some degree. But it's like a mirror image. I'm like, fuck. And the people that are really pro Carr and stuff, man, like, I'm just saying, let's be fucking real. And... You know, as much as, like, you know, I bash Derek Carr and shit, it pisses me off that, like, it should not come to this. It should not have to come to this fucking breaking point for him. And I feel bad that he's crying, but he's got to do something with it. Derek Carr, if you see this, dude, this video, you got to do something with it. You got to take that emotion and use it for everything you got to fucking man up, dude. Stop trying to be people's friends. Hold people accountable. Believe it or not, most people in life, they want to be held accountable, whether they know it or not. They want to know if they're doing good. They want to know if they're doing bad. They want to know where they can improve. They want to know where they've done good to keep doing that. And one of the problems I think really with this coaching staff, and especially Josh McDaniels, is he's like this guy who's like this fucking fish, okay? Passive aggressive leadership fish. Where he's just going to, like, show people their negatives and their bad shit and never show people the positive things they're doing. I could be wrong. I'm not in the film rooms or the locker rooms, but I've seen it before, and that's one of the main things to kill morale. And if you kill morale on a team, you got to at least, for every, like, one negative thing you say to any team environment, you got to give them, like, at least 2 compliments, if not 3. So if you're... going in there and you're just showing everybody all the negative stuff and not complimenting them on any of their good stuff, they're always going to feel like a worthless piece of shit. And that won't work. In any team environment, any work environment, imagine if your boss, all he did was tell you how fucked up you were. Like, you wouldn't want to work there, and eventually you'd stop trying hard, and most people, that's why a lot of people actually don't work very hard at their jobs, because they know they can get away with it. And they're just like, well, he don't care, I don't care. He doesn't ever notices anything good I do. That kills a team, dude. It does. And if Josh McDaniels doing that shit, he's a complete fucking moron and doesn't have the leadership abilities to fucking lead this team. So, that's my fucking rant. All right, let's go up here in the chat. I just want to go through some of these. All right. I'll just show them all. What's up, Raiders 7528? Gabriel, what's up, brother? Yep, we lost to a Pee-wee football coach. It is pathetic. Nug was about to go to sleep. I know, I was too, man. Al's Ghost, what's up, brother? All right, let's see. It's no point of keeping Josh McDaniels, the Raiders head coach. He needs to be fired ASAP. Wait until the season ends. I agree. I mean, dude, there's you have to try hard to be this shitty at fucking coaching. Either he's a complete fucking moron and he's trying, or he's purposely fucking tanking. Which Gabriel, I started saying week 2 before anybody Raider Nation, but whatever. I don't even fucking care anymore. All right, Al's Ghost. McDaniels sounded weak at the presser. He isn't a leader. Our team is doomed as long as he's the head coach. I mean, his press conferences make me want to punch him in the face. They really do. Sorry, guys, my eyes are red. I worked like a fucking 12-hour day today. Anyways, all right, let's get through this. Mark Davis is a stupid idiot, hires a head coach first over GM. Yep, I know, dude. Dude, Mark Davis has a big hand in this too. Mark Davis went to the locker room, I guess. I'm curious what's going to come of that. What people are going to say Mark Davis said. McDaniels lost 24 his last 31 games as head coach. Yeah, that's fucking crazy, man. All right. Raider 7528 says pro complaining in the first sign of leadership when you can air out the franchise. Carr has shown zero signs of this in 9 years. Brady's and Rodgers will step up and complain. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing, dude, is when you're the leader, dude, you have to be that guy. If you don't want to be, don't take the money. I mean, it's that simple. If you don't want to be that guy, don't take the money. Step aside, let someone else fucking step up to the plate. Hey, thank you for your service, but, I don't want to be that guy no more. If you don't want to be that guy, move on to another chapter. By that guy, I mean Derek Carr. All right. He treats the playbook like a Bible and doesn't want to go against it. All right, Al's Ghost. Let's see. A hardcore, it's not easy to go rogue in football. Football is the ultimate team sport. Everyone has to be on the same page to succeed every play. Okay, so let's kind of really digest this. Everybody has to be on the same page every play, okay? So if they stack the box, right, and they're going to rush in and a run play won't work, you're telling me you're still going to run the fucking run play? You're telling me you're still going to jump on the grenade. It's like I tell you there's a cliff over there. Don't go over there or don't jump off the cliff, and you're still going to jump off the cliff because Josh McDaniels told you to jump off the cliff because the rest of the team was doing it. You're telling me you're going to be that guy. And I don't mean that facetiously, but I'm just saying, you wouldn't be, dude. And Derek Carr shouldn't be either. You're right. It is a team sport. But if you're getting set up for failure or you know that something is not going to work, you got to have the gumption and get your team on the same page for something better. You know what? Peyton Manning did? A lot of people never even caught this. And I live in Donkeyville. My wife's family's got a lot of Bronco, fans and stuff. But Peyton Manning, right before the Super Bowl, when they played the Seahawks, he went on live or got interviewed, and he's like, sometimes, and so this is when Adam Gase was their offensive coordinator. The crackhead Adam Gase was the Broncos' offensive coordinator, and Peyton Manning was like, sometimes the play will come in, and I know the play won't work, and I go like this and pretend like I can't hear him, and he's laughing about it, and he's like, then I call a different play that I know is going to work. Well, something interesting about that Super Bowl is that you always saw Peyton Manning, no matter what team he was with or who his offensive coordinator was, and when Peyton Manning wasn't on the field playing offense, he was on the sideline with his offensive coordinator digging in the playbook. Okay? Always. Well, that Super Bowl, when the Broncos lost to the Seahawks, you never saw Peyton Manning sitting there with Adam Gase digging in the playbook. Why? Why did Peyton Manning spend all those years with a routine repetition digging in the playbook when he wasn't out there on the field, and then all of a sudden in the Super Bowl, he's not digging in the playbook? Because when Peyton Manning was like, oh, that play is not going to work. I'm going to switch it. And he was laughing about it. It probably pissed off Adam Gase, and him and Adam Gase probably had some words before the Super Bowl, and it created this friction, and then they weren't sitting down there. But here's the point, right? To kind of what you said. Peyton Manning's one of the best to ever do it. I'd say probably at least top 5, if not top 3, somewhere in that realm, okay? Most people, I think, would probably agree, you know? You have a guy like that. You think Peyton Manning needed a fucking offensive coordinator? And I know Derek Carr isn't Peyton Manning, but do you really think Peyton Manning needed an offensive coordinator? How do you think Peyton Manning got to as good as he is? Yeah, he's got a good arm and reading plays and stuff, and, you know, all the workouts, stuff like that. But, you know, because he had to have the gumption to be like, no, that play ain't going to work. We're going to do this, and I'm going to make it work. So he set his people up for success, not failure. He changed the play, setting his team up for success. Now that's the ultimate sacrifice and the ultimate team fucking player right there. Think about that. All right, let's keep going down. Mark Davis is unfit to be a Raiders owner. He needs to sell the team. Yeah, dude, I got no words for Mark Davis right now. Such a fucking shit show. Numbers, dude. What's up, brother? Yeah. McDaniels doesn't care about him. I don't think he does either. Dude, him and the GM have, like, constantly mentioned 2023. I mean, in the offseason, they're like, we're not looking just to win now. We're looking to win long-term. And then, you know, when, you know, the GM was interviewed, like, mid-season, he kept talking about, you know, the freaking 2023. So, like, dude, they're all locked in on next year. Like, you could see it. They cashed out. They checked out of this season like week fucking 3, you know? All right, Raider Rocca, 1974. Fire McDaniels and Mark Davis is the dumbest owner in NFL history. I mean, yeah, dude, I don't disagree. I mean, like, oh, I'm so frustrated. I've cussed so much. I'm trying not to. It's like, straight up, how could Mark Davis be this stupid? Like, seriously, like, he's got to be a complete fucking moron, or just not fucking care, or he's just so worried about money and not winning football games. I don't know, but, like, from Mark Davis to fucking Ronald McDonald, Coach McDaniels, to fucking Derek Carr, to the whole fucking team, it all smells like a bunch of fucking dog shit. If I was on that team, I would smoke their ass. Like, as soon as that game was done, I'd make them stay at the fucking stadium. Like that movie, was it Miracles or whatever? It was a hockey movie where they're all laughing and joking on the sideline and stuff, and they lost that game. It was like kind of like a preseason game, and he's like making them do drills up and down the ice till like their legs wanted to fall off. That's what I would do to the fucking Raiders football team. I would fucking force submission into this fucking team, so that way the guys that weren't trying, you're gonna learn real quick who the real men are and who the real ones are and who the fake ones are. And the fake ones, get the fuck out of here. They have no heart. Raider Nug says, got to start with the will to win. Absolutely, you know. And McDaniel saying, like, yeah, maybe to some degree you shouldn't have to give a speech. But some people got to be motivated, man. Like, more than just money. Like, everybody has something different that makes them tick. Maybe not everybody needs to be screamed and yelled at, dude. But, like, to some degree, you got to figure out a way to motivate men to get more out of them. And I felt like Gruden did that. I do. All right. Later, Raider Nug. Have a good night. Raider 7528. He has to be tanking. I don't see any other way. Absolutely. I don't see any other way. I mean, we just did a show. That's why I labeled the show. I said Raiders in full tank mode, dude. I'm telling you, dude, this coach been coaching for 20 years, putting his foot on the gas and foot on people's throats and finishing games, dude. And all of a sudden he comes to the Raiders and he forgets how to finish a game? What the fuck? There's no way. There's no way this guy is this fucking stupid, dude. It's like he's like a mastermind pretending to be really fucking dumb. And I hate fucking leaders like that, man. Let's go Colts. Nobody's tanking. Why? What? Nobody's tanking. Why was there still scoring so late? McDaniels is an idiot. McDaniels is an idiot, but he is fucking tanking. All right, Luke. Mark Davis needs to sell the team to any celebrities or fans, Raider Nation, that can preserve the history and culture of the team. Players, coaches, front office, hardcore. You know, I mean, one of the things is a lot of people, like especially the newer fans and stuff, they don't really appreciate what it means to be a Raider. They don't. You know, Gruden, I feel like was trying to instill that, but and carry that tradition on till the NFL got rid of Gruden. I think a lot of this is a ploy. I think from the NFL to people with a lot of money, they don't want that hardcore Raider fan. And I'm not saying that because of my name. I mean, I don't think they want that like hard-nosed Raider persona. The NFL invested $500 million in the Raider stadium. $500 million they invested. They have their own self-interest, and they want some fucking pretty boy yes-man guy that, you know, caters to the NFL, like Josh McDaniels, where like Gruden was calling the referees out, calling out the NFL all the fucking time. Gruden was not a yes man. He was like against the grain kind of fucking guy, and the NFL hates guys like John Gruden. What's up, Dr. No? All right, Southside Raider, what's up, brother? I'd take Jeff over Josh as a coach. The Colts played for theirs. He talking about Jeff. Oh, Jeff Saturday. Raider Kojo 916. What's up? Salute. Fuck everybody except Adams and Crosby. Yeah, man. I mean, fuck, dude. It's like we're really gonna go through a full rebuild. Oh man, I didn't want to admit it. I started talking about it in some group chats like week 2, 3, because I looked at the roster and I was like, man, we're gonna be forced to go full rebuild. So I started looking at the team. I'm like, well, if we keep Carr and that contract, how can we make it work? Because that was the first thing I did before I was like, you know, even though I've been kind of, you know, a Carr critic, I'm like, you know, what, like, is there a way to make it work where we keep Carr and we can still get the talent? And I couldn't come up with any scenario because there's so many holes on this team. Now, sure, if we needed 1, 2 guys, maybe 3, we could probably make it work. But with all the contracts coming due, and all the holes we have on our team, and the holes we're gonna have even more so when those guys don't get contract extensions next year, dude, we're forced into a full rebuild, whether we want to admit it or not, and it sucks, man. I mean, it sucks because here's the thing: the Super Bowl's in Vegas next year, and a rebuild probably if we draft a quarterback, if that's the route they're gonna go, probably best case scenario is like 2-3 years before we have a real shot at Super Bowl. So we're back in like reliving when Gruden came on, literally. You know, Gruden did. I mean, as much as I love Gruden, he did the same shit. Like, oh, you know, trying to be positive because he had this long-term vision. Like, Gruden didn't even care about winning right now. Neither did Derek Carr. Maybe to some degree, I shouldn't say that, but like, I felt like Derek Carr did not have like. Here's the thing. Where was Derek Carr fucking crying our last game in Oakland when we lost? But what did Derek Carr do instead? He blamed Raider Nation. That's how I felt. The press conference after we lost our last game in Oakland, Derek Carr blamed Raider Nation and the fans. Instead of saying, I played like dog shit and I should play better. And then do it. Enough of these MVP lip service fucking shit, dude. Like, no, man. All right, Raider 7528, man. Bryce Young, CJ Stroud. All right, so here's how I look at the thing. All right, the Bryce Young, because the system that my brain is so fried right now, guys. I'm sorry. 12-hour day, and then this Raiders fucking shit has me really pissed off. I even like picked us to lose a couple weeks ago or whatever to the Colts, but before Jeff Saturday became their coach, but like. Yeah, I love the Raiders, man. Like, even if I'm like, oh, I think we might lose that game, like, I always want us to win. Like, even if I've mentally, like, tried to prepare myself for a shitstorm coming, like, what's going on with the Raiders right now, because I felt like I seen something going on. The moment we lost to the Cardinals, and then the next week when we lost, I was like, dude, something ain't right with this fucking team. Like, everybody was still optimistic, and I'm kind of a pessimistic kind of person. I'm like, something ain't right with this team. But anyways, so, like, you know, I saw the shitstorm coming, and it like, I could see it. I can see his shit hitting the fan before it hits, and then it hits, and I'm still not fucking ready for the shit hitting the fan. I'm still not ready. Like, you know. But CJ Stroud or Bryce Young. All right, so the Alabama coach, why can't I remember his name? I don't watch a whole lot of college, but anyways, the Alabama coach, he's one of the branch off guys from Belichick back in the day. So the head coach of Alabama was also with Bill Belichick when Bill Belichick was coaching the Browns. So he's one of the coaching disciples from Belichick. So the point is, the system that he runs there in Alabama is very similar to what the Patriots run. So if you want a smoother transition quarterback, Bryce Young is probably a better fit as far as scheme, okay? And the Alabama coach is probably real similar with this passive-aggressive, fucking horseshit leadership style like Josh McDaniels. So, because Josh McDaniels really don't care. If he knows Derek Carr isn't his guy, he's just like, man, whatever, you know, on to fucking next year, you know. So, but me personally, I'd rather have CJ Stroud. I mean, when I was looking at this rebuild thing I was telling you about, I was thinking we were going to get maybe worst case scenario would be like pick 10, but I was thinking like 15 to 20, you know, maybe 25. So like I was looking for quarterbacks that weren't even Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. So I was looking for guys that were going to be like value picks, kind of like a Jalen Hurts kind of guy. And so, you know, like for value pick guys, so right now, I'm not saying we should get these guys that I'm going to mention, but when I was looking at the value pick guys, I came up with 3 guys that would be like late first round or second round. And that would be Anthony Richardson with Florida, Garrett Schrader with Syracuse, or Grayson McCall with Coastal Carolina. Okay. Grayson McCall has potential. All of them do, but some of them, like Grayson McCall, is like definitely a work in progress. So kind of a gamble. I know he had like some surgery, I think, on his shoulder. He had some really good wide receivers there last year. But then this year, those wide receivers left, so he hasn't done as good this year. But last year, he had like the most. He broke Mac Jones' record for like the most yards or most points or something crazy college record. But he showed a lot of promise, but he needs a lot of work. But all 3 of those guys are more like Anthony, except for maybe Anthony Richardson, but definitely like Garrett Schrader and with Syracuse and Grayson McCall from Coastal Carolina. Those are quarterbacks that I would like get if you're going to keep Derek Carr. So it's like, or if they get another quarterback, but like definitely like they need to sit for at least a year, maybe 2. So that's kind of how I looked at those guys. But if we're going to have, you know, top 3 or 5 pick, then CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, Hendon Hooker has really came on the scene. So I think any 3 of those guys could be a good fit. I think some people think that, you know, Bryce Young has more upside, but I feel like CJ Stroud has like the best overall, like over-rounded like quarterback of all of them. But again, like I was thinking we weren't going to be this high in the draft, and the season's not over yet. But you know, we'll see. All right, let's see what the next one is. Or should we trade down with all the holes? I don't know, because here's the thing, man. Like, here's how I look at the draft. If it's your guy, it's your guy. Whether you get him 3rd pick overall or 10th or 15th, like if you have a guy that you know is going to be like just a perfect fit for you or a really good fit, then I say take him whenever you got to take him. Because that trade back shit, you could trade back to, say, 10th or 5th or something, and then, boom, someone else gets the guy you wanted. So we do have a lot of holes and stuff. I would only trade back if you do the scenario that I just mentioned, where it's like a Grayson McCall, Anthony Richardson, and there's a bunch of quarterbacks in this like draft too. But like a guy that's a development guy developmental guy like a Garrett Schrader, Anthony Richardson, or Grayson McCall, and you're going to sit them for like a year or two, whether it's behind Derek Carr or behind someone else. So, in that scenario, I would be like, yeah, trade back. If Grayson McCall is your guy, say, right, and you're like, I'm going to get him late first round or something, and I feel pretty confident in that. Or if I can't get him, then I'm going to get Anthony Richardson or like, some sort of mix up like that. Then yeah, I mean, that could be, depending on what you get for it, because that's important too. Like if you get another first round, like you get their first round and a second round and maybe a first round in 2029, I don't hate that idea either. That I'd say that'd be something I would consider. But if CJ Stroud is your guy and he's like, you feel confident in your scouting and how he fits your scheme, that he's going to be a real fucking dude, you just get him. You just get him. You know what I mean? But like if you're picking at 5 and say CJ Stroud, Bryce Young is gone, maybe you wanted a defensive lineman, but that guy's gone, then at that point, it's like, well, the guys that are available right now, I really don't value them at like a 4th or 5th round or 4th or 5th overall pick. Then I would trade back. You know what I mean? Because your guy, the point is your guy isn't there. So. All right, next one. Al's Ghost. What's scary is that I don't think that we've hit rock bottom yet. I mean, how do we determine rock bottom? I guess. Because I got out of the Army, I hit rock bottom like here, and then something else happened, and then I hit rock bottom here, and then something else happened, I hit rock bottom here, and then I hit rock bottom. I hit rock bottom like 4 or 5 times. So I don't think you're wrong, but I'm just saying, like, how are we gonna know when we hit rock bottom, right? Because each time I swore I was at rock bottom. So that is scary. You're right. That is definitely scary, man. All right, let's see what else. The shit has hit the fan, but hasn't splattered yet. Nice. Will Levi's. I've heard a lot of people talk about him. I haven't seen him. So I'm gonna have to check him out, dude, and see what that dude's about. So I've watched some on Bryce Young and CJ Stroud. And then I've watched some stuff on Anthony Richardson, Grayson McCall, and Garrett Schrader. So I've actually done more work on like the guys that like people weren't looking at, because like I literally didn't think we were gonna be picking probably top 5, but the way it's looking now, we might be fighting for the first. Oh my god, I can't even. Oh, it's so. Oh, Derek Carr gonna make me fucking cry from us sucking so bad. D Menace 4200. What up, man? Salute. Raider Rich. Yo, you're back, Raider Rich. What's going on, man? Yeah, we've been doing a few shows. I work a lot. It's hard to do shows. I just did a 12-hour day. And normally I'm just like, actually my wife's upset because I'm out here doing this, but it's part of life, I'm tired of losing, fired up. I'm upset. Like I felt genuinely bad for Derek Carr and like the emotions he felt. But it got me to the point where like it pissed me off, Like I got picked on when I was a little kid, my older brothers and stuff, and like, like I used to cry, feel sorry for myself. Dude, I turned that shit into straight fucking gasoline, man. That shit was just fuel for my fire. And that's what our quarterback needs to do, man. He needs to turn those tears into fucking pure motivation. And it sucks because here's the thing. When you do that and you make that transition, if you make that transition as a human being, it can make you a bitter, cold-ass motherfucker and somewhat kind of cold-souled, It can. Like, I'm kind of living proof of it. But to the other extent, it can also make you a tough motherfucker and someone that's motivated to go out there and fucking kill it. So it just depends on how you do it. You're going to sit there and feel sorry for yourself and why me and this sucks and, another coach or whatever. Or are you going to go out there and you're going to fucking kill it? And that's how I look at it, man. Like, eventually the tears got to stop, man. No matter how old you are, you got to get to a point. Either you put up and you move on and you fucking drive the fuck on, or you take a step aside and, you know, you start fucking feeling sorry for yourself all the time. You know how many people in this life could be great, right? Like with football and in life, like I always overachieved. Like I was like right here, and I always thought I was doing like 100%, you know, but wasn't until the Army where I really learned how to dig deep, where like most people's ceilings are like here, okay? And then people that try hard, they're like here. And then you join the Army and like shit that like fucking I went through in life, and your ceiling's way the fuck up here. But most people are quitting when they're down here, and they think they reached their ceiling and they haven't even gotten close. Because most people, you want to know why? I'll tell you guys why. It is mind over matter. It's mental, okay? It's mental. But here's the key element to this, okay? And this is important. We all no matter what the problem or issue is. Could be work, could be family, there's like a million things, okay? A goal you want to achieve, okay? We get to this point in our lives, okay, where we hit something called a crossroads, or it's a roadblock or a speed bump. And we get to that, and we don't want to go, either we don't want to go this way at the fork in the road, or we don't want to climb over the speed bump, or we don't want to like drive over it or run through the fucking barricades, you know, if we think it's a dead end. We don't. Mentally, as human beings, we like hit this mental block, and then we like give up. And some of us will actually turn into a self-destructive mode. And I think all of us have it inside of us to some degree. But here's the thing. When you hit these roadblocks, okay, or these forks in the road or whatever, these are the key pivotal points that if a human being pushes past that moment and that time, and it might take some time to like get past it, but you push past it, you look back, and it'll like at the time it could be like maybe you're afraid of heights and you're about ready to jump off a cliff into some water, or I don't know. There's 1,000 different things, but you're there, you have an opportunity, and if the people that push past it can further to achieve greatness, okay, something greater than that down the road. The people that hit the fork in the road or the roadblock and they turn around and they don't overcome that obstacle, well, then they're this much more likely to give up on the next thing. And so they'll always feel like their ceiling is here, and they'll always be too afraid to take the next step for the next chapter in their life for something greater than even that. And we all have it. People, if you look back, you do a self-evaluation, you will see in your own life that we've all had these like pivotal points in our lives where there was something that if we just would have like kept the course or pushed past it, or maybe it's a fork in the road. Maybe you're meant to go this way instead of that way, you know? And in those moments, sometimes you have to open up a new chapter in your life and close the previous chapter. That happens. But it's all like how you perceive it and what you're willing to do. Now, if you got a fucked up job, fucked up boss, or something like that, you tell him to get fucked and go fuck himself, and you don't have another job lined up, well, you're setting yourself up for failure. Because if you've let yourself get to the point like Derek Carr where you're like crying and shit, you should have already had another option. You have option A, option B. You should have already had another option B, you know, that you could go to. And, you know, then you already have another job lined up. Then you put in your 2 weeks. You don't got to tell your boss to get fucked. You just tell him like, hey, I'm ready to move on. Appreciate you guys. And, you know, that's that. And this is what's best for me and my family. And you can't hate on another person for making a decision of what they feel is best for them and their family, no matter how long you've been with that company. But see, like my dad, he self-destructed. He would tell people to get fucked and go fuck themselves. And then, you know, next thing you know, like we're fucking homeless and I'm living in a fucking warehouse and, you know, like fucked up shit like that because my dad didn't have another job lined up. So if you're in those situations, you gotta put yourself at a point where you're working on something else lined up before it reaches this boiling point where you have to tell your boss to get fucked. Because, like, you know, you should never burn a bridge if possible. Like, always be at a point, especially if you're leaving a workplace, where you have something else lined up. And then you might hate that boss, you may hate that fucking job. So be it, man. If you were a hard worker, they'll miss you when you're gone. You don't need to tell them, they don't need to tell you, you ain't gonna tell them your opinion. You're so focused on you being great that you don't give a fuck what they think about you. Let me repeat that. You are so focused on you being fucking great that their opinion of you doesn't fucking matter. And it's hard. But each of us have these, like, studio power is down. Oh, Raider Critique, what's up, brother? You're so focused on, like, what you got to do that what other people are doing and what they think about you doesn't matter. Because if you're doing the right thing and you're staying the course and you're champing on, dude, what other people think about you doesn't really matter. Because, like, dude, people cannot like me because I got a beard. I got some grays in my fucking beard. People cannot like me because I'm wearing a Raider hat. People cannot like me because, fuck, maybe I got funny ears. Maybe I need a haircut. Maybe my hair is fucked up. Maybe people don't like me for that. If they don't like me for those reasons, there's always going to be people like that out there. And a lot of them are deadbeats of the world. But you're always going to have those people. But you can't let those leeches, like suck the life out of you as a human being. You got to triumph past that shit. And when you reach these roadblocks in your life, you got to push past it. I'm telling you, just either stay the course, or if it's a new chapter, fork in the road, take the next fucking the better option for you, And no human being can, like, be mad at another human being for doing what's best for them and their future. Even Derek Carr, maybe what's best for his future is another chapter, another team, and he'll probably ball out a new scenery, Fuck, I don't know. Maybe what's best for the Raiders is a new chapter for us and a new quarterback, And this year, it's not even real. I mean, some of it's on Derek Carr, but a lot of it's not. But him getting this emotional in a press conference, it should not get to this point. He cares, yes. I appreciate his heart that he's put into this team. I've wanted him to be the guy. It pisses me off because, like, he should have that emotion, like, the year before last, 2 years before that, like, he needs to figure out something to make him tick. And if he's got to dig in that ass, he's got to be that guy, man. He does. And if he's at a mental block or a fork in the road, he's got to triumph past it. And if triumph past it means he pulls a Peyton Manning and says, "What, coach, I can't hear you. I can't hear the play," because he knows that something's going to work and he makes it happen. Hey, man, you got to make an executive decision for what's best for you. And you can't hate on someone like that. But if he's too busy trying to please everybody and just saying, "Yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir," and he's completely going against what he already knows in here and in here, well, then he's not living. He's like, you're not living life for, like, what you know is best. Just like the story I shared about when we were looking for IEDs on foot, and I should have said something because I knew it in here and in here, and I didn't say nothing. Shame on me. I should have stepped up. All right, let's see what else people are saying in here. All right. Francisco Pancho, man, what's up? Raiders defense has quit. This is why Abrams was released and why Blake Martinez retired. Only Raider players on defense worth keeping: Crosby, Billings, Hobbs, and Rock. I might throw Harmon in there. I think who else? Jayon Brown. Jayon Brown's been hurt, but I do like Jayon Brown. But yeah, other than that, the amount of times that, like, our cornerbacks and some of our players have gotten burned on our defense is a fucking disgrace. If we had a good defense, Derek Carr would definitely be doing better. Absolutely. But our offensive line also fucking sucks too. So there's that. All right. Ed's Toyo Rama, what's up, man? Josh a Patriot mentally, not a Raider mentally. Two different philosophies. Josh is not a match to Raider just win mentality. No, you're right. 110%. I believe that as well. Josh McDaniels, I'm probably gonna do a video talking about some shit the Raider fans don't want to hear coming up here, but I 100% agree with you. I mean, he's not a Raider, and he doesn't care about Derek Carr or the legacy of the Raiders. He cares about his own legacy, and I think that's important to keep that context into perspective because, like, as much as a lot of us had some issues with Gruden and some of his play calling, Gruden was still a fucking Raider. Like he wanted to be a Raider, so to me, Gruden was a Raider to and through from the personality and stuff, just all around. I just wish his play calling would have been better, and draft picks, but I guess we'll never know. We'll never know if Gruden's fucking whatever rebuild it was would have worked out. Part of me thinks it may have had Henry Ruggs and Arnett thing not gone the way it did if Gruden would have stayed, but all right. All right, Derek Carr was keeping this team together the past 9 years, especially last year. I mean, okay, so if that's true, then what happened with the Redskins game when the kneeling thing and some of that went down and a lot of this team quit on the Raiders? That was 2017. We had a good team, a team that should have gone to the playoffs, and they did the Raider flop. They did literally a mirror image of what's happening right now. All right, let's see what else you're saying. Raiders defense has allowed any NFL offense to score 100% of the time. In the red zone, he said. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, still processing your thing on leadership because I'm trying to see if if there's any validity either to what you're saying or against what you're saying, because that's how I always try to look at both things. So to one degree, Carr is nice, could have held the team together, yeah. But to another degree, maybe sometimes we haven't always needed nice. You know what I mean? So if you're overly nice to everybody, that may not be what's best for the team if we need something different. The numbers, I just wish Josh McDaniels would just resign. Yeah, I mean, it's to the point now where it's just I don't even know what we do. How long did Mark Davis sign his McDaniels a contract for? I mean, that's crazy to think about. All right. So pretty much the thing you said before, but today we finally got a sack after 13 quarters. Yeah. I mean, that part's crazy too. I mean, some of these stats, it's like I knew it had been a while, but until they said it on TV, I was like, 13 quarters? I'm like, that's fucking crazy. So that's terrible for our defense. All right. Johnny man, I'm going to mess this up. Chingataradas. Seeing Carr emotional at the press was hard to watch, but realizing why he didn't get emotional like that on Game 3. His time has come and gone. He has good stats, but he is not a Super Bowl contender. I mean, that's kind of how I feel, man. I mean, it's I just feel like it's a day late, dollar short. He should have had that emotion and that fire, man. At the beginning of the season, he had a part of last year. I mean, I know he went through a lot, but the year before, he should have had it, the year before, where was that Carr when Gruden was our coach, the year before fucking, Gruden got fired. It just wasn't there, man. All right. Reese Wesley. The entire team has failed, but defense is atrocious, and Carr is total tunnel vision, doesn't look at all the wide receivers. Then sack for a loss. Sorry, I'm tired, dude. I can't read very well tonight. But yeah, dude. I mean, so his progressions. I've said this for a while. It's always and not okay. So there is the underthrown and the overthrown balls, but It's like sometimes it's like he's always like a half second late on freaking throwing the ball to a wide receiver. So it's always like when he's reading a progression, he's always like a half second to 1 second late when he's like going through his progressions, and it's crazy how he could always be like that much behind the fucking curve. That's my opinion at least. So Jason Davis, please fire damn coaching staff. They are complete garbage. Please bring back Rich Bisaccia, please. I mean, I like Rich Bisaccia. I just don't know. Let's see how I can word this. I don't know how much of last year was just off of emotions and players like playing better than like their actual talents, or like how much of it was coaching or a combination of things. Because it did take like the team going through a lot for them to step up to the plate. I felt like, and I felt like that was too much, even for Derek Carr. Like it shouldn't have taken all the stuff that happened last year for him to really step up and to like light that fire under his ass. He should have been doing that the entire time. So, all right, the numbers says Devontae saying some guys just don't want it as bad as him. Absolutely. I mean, but you'll find that in life no matter where you are and what you do. But see, okay, so here's the thing about this, right? Because we got to really think about this. It's just not just football, but like life, right? So if guys don't want to be there or what they're doing, so like, I may have said it on here before at some point, but the analogy I use is like this, right? If you were I use a football analogy. So what I say to people is like, if you're an offensive lineman, you probably can't throw the ball very well, right? But you probably can throw the ball. You just don't throw the ball very well, right? And then your quarterback can probably block people, but you probably don't want your quarterback blocking people, but your quarterback can throw the ball. So the point is, right, if your offensive lineman can block, but your offensive lineman can't throw the ball, does that make your offensive lineman not a good offensive lineman if he can't throw the ball? And that's important, okay? And same with your quarterback. If your quarterback can't block, does that mean he's not a good quarterback? No. So the point is, as a leader, you have to evaluate people's talents, right? Not everybody, especially like in workplaces and stuff, not everybody is going to be a quarterback type guy, okay? And not everybody is going to be like an offensive lineman type guy, okay? So in a workplace or whatever, like you have very few quarterbacks. Those are your guys, like, or girls, but like people you can lean to, get the job done. They're go-getters. They're ambitious. Like they want to step up maybe in a leadership role at some point down the road. They're like giving a lot of extra effort. You can give them, 5, 10, 15, 20 things to do, and they'll get them all done kind of thing, right? But then you'll have other people who are kind of like an offensive lineman. They're important to the workplace, but maybe you can only give them like 2 or 3 tasks to do at a time, okay? But it's important as a leader and leadership to be able to see who your like linemen are and who your quarterbacks are, okay? Or who your quarterback is and who your linemen are. And because you're very few like places will you find a quarterback type people, but you always find someone. There's always someone there. Dude, I've helped so many people become like a leader or manager. Most of those people, guess what? They were like ready to quit or like was so fed up with the company and shit. But they had something different inside them, dude. Like they may not had the leadership abilities because no one gave them a shot, and like, but I saw something different in them, and you got to help develop those people, okay? But you also have to be able to figure out people's strengths and weaknesses. And so if you're a leader, and that's where, so the point is with Raiders, this is what I feel like the Raiders leadership. If you're the Raiders and you can't evaluate and know where your strengths and weaknesses are on the team, and you're just like, oh, it is what it is, because I hate that saying. Because like here's the thing, we've all became accustomed to we all accept everything, dude. It is what it is, and people really don't work hard to change things. No, dude, it is what you make it, right? It's like, oh yeah, like you'd be at a workplace, someone say, oh, that should be done or that should be this. No, is it done? Is it ready? Or is it not? It is what it is, and it should be this and should be that. Should does me no fucking good. Like it's either this or either that, and we work to make it better, right? So it is what we make it, and what we make it is better. Okay? Now, if you truly can't change it or you can't fix it, then maybe you can accept it is what it is. But now, fuck. I mean, Derek Carr could take a sack, and the offensive lineman just be like, well, it is what it is. It's like now everybody's like so brainwashed to just accept everything with mediocrity in this life. It's crazy how many people are just like literally going around just, it is what it is. It is what it is. Everything is what it is. And people just stop trying. And then when you have a team of a bunch of it is what it is motherfuckers that just don't give a fuck, and they're just like, well, it's okay. He says it is what it is. That guy says it is what it is. So I guess it is what it is. So if I'm dog shit like them, then it's okay. And then you got nobody trying to excel to be great. And then all you have is a bunch of offensive linemen and no quarterback, right? You got no leaders to step up to the plate and be that guy. So, all right. Let's go back to Francisco. Hobbs got drunk and killed a woman last year. That was Henry Ruggs, but okay. And Gruden quit because of the whole scandal, and Carr still kept the team together with Zay. I mean, Carr played really good after that stuff happened in year 8 of 9 years. Right? Year 8 of 9 years. Think about that. Think about that. And think about what you just said. It took your coach getting fired or resigning, someone killing another human being, and someone else, Arnett, fucking showing his guns on fucking TikTok or whatever and getting let go of the team before your quarterback really stepped up to the plate to lead the team. Think about that. So it took a whole lot of negative shit for him to fucking dig deep to be that guy. That's not right. You do not want people. I was in the Army, dude. You do not want people who get promoted or put in a position where they have to step up to be that guy, and then all of a sudden they become that guy. Because you know what happens? And I've seen it time and time again. People will not respect that leader, and they won't go to the ends of the earth for that leader. They won't. Because that leader was someone different before that point in time. That's why integrity, the definition of integrity essentially, is like doing the right thing no matter who the fuck is watching. And you can't be carpooling with Renfro. You might as well carpool with the whole team if you're going to do it, or carpool with nobody, because that's also a killer. All right, Levita. He probably felt how players feel when they cry after losing the Super Bowl. I mean, I'd like to know what it would be like to cry after losing the Super Bowl besides one time. I mean, when we lost to the Bucks, you know? The number says Carr knows now he will be able to be the scapegoat and his career is done. He probably will. I mean, I 100% feel that this piece of shit coach is setting Carr up for failure. And Carr probably feels it. He probably feels the demons coming against him. And so, to that point, like, I'll stick up for Carr. That's why all the shit I said at the beginning of this, dude, where Carr has to step up to be that guy. Like, he's got to make a decision for himself. Either in his future, whether it's with the Raiders or somewhere else, he's going to have to go against the grain. He's going to have to do something that he's not used to doing. And he's got to stop being a yes man. He's got to do what's best for the team, himself, and his future. And that means ruffling feathers. I call it stirring the pot. Because you stir that shit and it pisses people off. It's like lighting these little fires. People get pissed off. But then after they get pissed off, then they play harder. That's what the fuck they do. So, all right. This Carr last year, he knows it. I say go after Lamar and draft defense, because when the Raiders have a solid defense, Raiders usually compete better. You're right, they do. The problem is, like, I know, like, some of these guys are, like, big on Lamar Jackson. Even some of my buddies, some of my Raider buddies, dude. Like, I think he's a great player, but he's not worth $50 million plus a year. Because the thing is, dude, like, I don't want any quarterback that's going to cripple this team. I don't, you know? And even Derek Carr, you know, even if Lamar Jackson was available, say for the same price we're going to pay Derek Carr, 35 and then 44 mil, I still don't think we do it. Unless we have drafted enough players and filled enough holes to where all we need is a quarterback, icing on the cake kind of thing, then maybe. But the problem is, dude, we don't have enough money to pay a quarterback that type of money and build our team the way we need. And the only way we're going to be able to build the team for cheap is through the draft. But then if you do that, then you're still looking at a 2-3 year process through the draft if you hit on your picks and develop those guys. So it's not a good situation. And Sean Payton, I mean, I do like Sean Payton, but like we'd have to trade some draft capital for him, and we just don't have the resources to be at that point. We need our draft capital to build this team. So we're in a really fucked situation. And I saw this, like I didn't do like videos exactly on it, but like I talked to some of my Raider buddies about it. You know, I started seeing this in week 3. Like I saw this shitstorm coming, man, and it's fucked. All right. Francisco says Raiders locker room is a civil war right now. I believe it's mostly defense, blaming leadership for all the problems since Arizona's 17-point lead that was blown. I mean, dude, the blame is to go all around. I mean, even though I'm like talking about Derek Carr and leadership, but that's because I care about the guy enough where like I want him to step up to the plate. But I'm just saying, like, dude, it's from Mark Davis to Josh McDaniels to offensive coordinator, meaning Lombardi's fucking. I mean, dude, think about this, man. I didn't say this earlier, but let's just think about this for a second, right? Okay, what did Sean McVay do when he went to the Rams? I thought about this like a week or two ago. What did Sean McVay do when he went to the Rams? Right? He took over offensive play calling, right? But what else did he do besides the head coach? He brought in Wade Phillips to control the defense. So he brought in somebody that was very talented and a proven defensive coordinator that had a lot of years of experience to like control the defense, and then I'm just going to focus on the offense and head coaching duties, okay? McDaniels didn't go that route. McDaniels tried to get way too cute and do the same shit that Belichick did, where McDaniels like, well, I'm gonna develop my own offensive coordinator. We're gonna bring in a defensive coordinator that's not proven. We're gonna bring in like offensive line coach that's not exactly NFL ready or proven, and all these other like some of these other coaches that like, yeah, they might be good in time, but like he bit off more than he can fucking chew. And part of that is maybe because the Raiders got a coach late in the year last year. But I mean, you just look at it and you're like, man, like it's pretty stupid. Like he bit off way more than he could chew. He's trying to, you know, you're trying to develop Lombardi, who's never been an offensive coordinator, and yeah, he's probably a yes man or something, but you're literally like trying to train an offensive coordinator to hopefully maybe eventually pass him off the offensive coordinator duties and, you know, try to help with the defense when you can, I suppose, and, you know, run a whole team and organization with a new general manager. Like, dude, how arrogant and stupid could any head coach be? He bit off way more than he can chew, and he's no Belichick. I mean, so it's pretty fucking stupid what he did, but there's plenty of blame to go all around. All right, Danny Stranan. As a good leader, you would definitely teach your soldiers and your Marines about Jesus. It would mean you force it on them, but as a good leader, you will teach them. I reread that. As a good leader. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I believe in God. I consider myself a Christian, not the best Christian. But here's the thing, dude. You can lead a horse to the water trough, but you can't force it to drink. Okay? And the issue is, like, I don't know. I don't want to get, like, too religious on here and stuff, to be honest with you. But you got to show by your actions. Okay? That's really important if you're wanting to go that route. But, you know, it's like a drug addict, dude. They got to be at a point where they want to change their life, okay? If they don't want to change their life, it ain't going to do them no good. You're just going to waste your breath on them. So they have to be, you know, they have to come up with their own path and their own life on their own. And each of us do. All of us do. So that's how I feel about it and how I look at it is like, if someone wants to know, hey, I'll tell them, you know? But at the same time, every human being, we all have free will. And that goes for anything and everything. Okay. And that's important to understand, because the more you push stuff on people, sometimes the more you'll push them away. So people that use the riches of heaven or the fears of hell to get them to believe in God or Jesus is going about it the wrong way. And a lot of churches teach it that way, and they're also going the wrong way. And I've read the Bible, and I know the Bible, and the only time Jesus did that was in a self-defense mechanism against the Pharisees when they were attacking him and stuff like that. So Jesus actually never used the fear of hell to force, like God on them. I know a lot of people would disagree with me, but that's my opinion of it. So, all right. Right. Was it 16 points or 17 points? But yeah, no, I know. It's screwed up, man. All right. Devontae Adams didn't come here for a rebuild or to play next year with a rookie quarterback. If that was the case, he would have stayed at Green Bay with Jordan Love next year. You're right. I don't think he'll leave if Derek Carr leaves, but he's probably not going to be happy unless that rookie ends up being a really good quarterback. But I mean, even a CJ Stroud or Bryce Young, dude, that could be like a two years before they're really clicking on all cylinders. So, Dylan E., appreciate you coming in. Manuel Rivera, Carr sucks. Let's see. Yeah, I got you, man. No worries. All right. Your boy Scorpio says, I'm a Carr fan. He can't play defense. Our defense and McClown play calling lost us this game. Tired of the DC hate. Hey, man, I was a Carr fan, too, for a long time. Carr did not lose us this game. I think he could have – there's a few plays that he could have thrown better and stuff. But there's plenty of shit to go around. Absolutely. I mean, the offensive line, some people are saying they're playing good. I'm not seeing it. I mean, we need to give Carr 1 to 2 more seconds to throw the ball. I mean, he's getting under pressure way too quick. Part of that could be him being mobile, but like sometimes he's not even getting a chance to be mobile. It's like hike and then instant, like people in his face. So, there's a lot of blame to definitely go around, and the play calling is like terrible, and the coaching is terrible overall. I think they're setting Carr up for failure to tank to get a draft pick. That's my opinion about it. All right. Paul says 6 different coaches, all different styles. Carr has been screwed from day one, the owner to the coaches. Then you can start on the players. So, the different like head coaching things and like schemes, like, so I'll agree. Cause like, it seems like it does, especially with Carr, it takes him about 2 years to learn his system, and whatnot. So like, I get the point with like the different head coaches. Cause you're right. Like, I remember when Sperano, after Dennis Allen got fired, Sperano who remembers this, dug the hole in the ground and they buried the football, I think we need to go dig that football up wherever the fuck that football's at in Oakland, and we need that football back. All right, so, but the different schemes and stuff, yeah, dude, Carr's gotten a bad shake. I know that's a factor, but at some point he's got to overcome it. At some point he's got to do something, man. So. All right, try to move through some of these. Levita says, Carr made it to playoffs twice in the last 5 years. Any smart coach will know he probably can do it again. I would look at it more like playoffs twice in 8 or 9 years. Okay. And got my calculator here. I like numbers. So let's do 2 divided by 9. So that's a 22%, 0.22. Okay. So at 22%, do you think winning 22% of the time or making the playoffs 22% of the time is a good statistic? Because to me, that's really fucking terrible. You know, because if you take 22% and you subtract that from 100%, that you're at 78%. You're saying 78% of the time you're not making the playoffs, and you think that's good enough? I would reevaluate that analysis, but that's me. All right, so Rivera, there's no crying in football. That shit was embarrassing. That's I mean, I don't know. I felt bad for him, but then it did piss me off because I'm like, dude, where's this fire like at the beginning of the season or when guys need called out, man? Like, don't let it get to this breaking point. Raiders 7528. What up, brother? Levita, last season was a fluke with help from Mariota. True, Mariota did run some good QB sneaks and stuff. It's time to hire a member of the alumni for head coach position. I mean, who would even? I don't even know who from the alumni. I heard someone say something about Charles Woodson earlier. That was kind of funny, but I mean, yeah, it would be nice to have somebody that understood the importance to be a Raider. McDaniels sure ain't fucking cutting it. That's all I know. All right. Should have kept Gus Bradley, Tom Cable. I mean, weird thing is, like, okay, as far as Cable goes, like, there was times where, like, he did turn this offensive line to be pretty darn good after they sucked. Like, Colton Miller, he helped Colton Miller develop. We all thought, at least myself, and a lot of us thought that Miller was going to be a flop. Colton Miller, he turned out to be pretty good. But I think, I'm trying to remember, I think he ran like a zone scheme offensive line. So a lot of the offensive line they had was more like that style, where I think McDaniels is a lot different. But, I mean, our offensive line coach now definitely sucks. Gus Bradley, I mean, a lot of Raider Nation didn't like him. And I don't blame him. I guess thinking about it, trying to think like kind of my stance, like I thought he did better last year. I did like Gus Bradley as like a guy, like as a person, and I felt like, had he had maybe another year with this team, I felt like he could have like, we'd be a lot better, like more rounded and well off. Because the problem is all these coaches come in and they're all like, well, this guy doesn't fit my scheme. This guy doesn't fit my scheme. Next thing you know, you're going through a rebuild, and I'm just like every time a new coach comes on, like, I know it's typical for all the coaching to get scrapped, but I mean, yeah, it would be nice to keep a few of the coaches and some familiarity, but they never do that. The tank is in, fellas. What up? Really in that field P? The tank is in, fellas. We'll end up throwing Carr under the bus and end up with a first-round QB. Be prepared for Josh to blow this entire team up. I mean, I think it's coming, man. I think it's inevitable, whether we want it to or not. Carr is not a 20 QB in the league when you look at today's players. See, now that I 100% agree with Raider 7528, because that's where I say he's like 10 to 15, but like, essentially we're moving to more mobile quarterbacks that can run versus the old pocket passers. Now, if it will switch back to the pocket passer style, I don't know. But the way the NFL is looking right now, I mean, you're right. It's like if you can't run the ball and you're not like an athlete, like a real athlete type quarterback, you're going to have a rough time in the NFL these days. So, I mean, I definitely see what you're saying for sure, because it's the game is changing. It's like you have to get like some, stud, athlete quarterback now to like compete, with the other teams. All right, Dylan E, what up? I said, do you think a top 3 QB pick draft can turn things around? No. because we're not just short a quarterback. I think, you want to know what I think we need? We need a lot. I mean, we need 1 to 2 defensive linemen who are studs. 1 to 2 defensive linemen who are studs. Chandler Jones is absolute fucking horseshit, so we need another edge rusher. We need at least one safety, if depending on if Morig works out or not. So one, possibly two safeties. We need at least another depth cornerback. Hobbs, and if they sign, because Rocky Sin was only on a 1-year deal. If Rocky Sin stays, he might lock up that spot. But we need probably another cornerback behind him. The offense, hopefully we keep Jacobs, but I guess it depends if we keep Carr or not and how much money we have available. But the offensive line, I think we need at least 2 stud offensive linemen, and some of these you might be able to get in free agency, depending on how much money they want, and then draft some. Tight end, Foster Moreau's going to be a free agent, so there's that. If Darren Waller is healthy next year and works out, well, that could work out and be okay. But then you have to consider what are you going to do about blocking tight end? So you either got to draft somebody or sign somebody to be a blocking tight end, because Waller, even if he's healthy, he's not that good of a blocking tight end. And that's not really a skill set either. Wide receiver, Hunter Renfrow, I know has been injured or whatever, but Renfro's like a number 3 wide receiver, a slot wide receiver. So he, even though we signed him, I think he's to be determined, because I don't know if he's fit in the scheme or not. And then the Matt Collins, I believe, is a free agent as well. So we're going to keep him, or is he a true number 2 wide receiver? So I don't know. I didn't add that up. What is that? At least 6 different guys, maybe 8 or 9. Plus you need backup positions for a lot of positions as well. So, we're like 8 to 10 players away. So no, a quarterback is not, we're not just a quarterback away. Whether we kept Carr and Carr balled out, or we drafted a quarterback. Unfortunately, we're just not there. We're a long ways away from where we need to be. It's probably a 2 to 3 year window now. So this whole Super Bowl in Vegas, it sucks, because we're probably not going to be at a point to make a Super Bowl run next year. And that's the most upsetting thing to me is even though I wanted to win this year, the most upsetting thing to me is we are so far away from being at a point where we can make a push and a Super Bowl run, next year. Because for me, we should be at a point where we're contending for the playoffs this year and winning a playoff game this year, and next year in 2023, where the Super Bowl's in Vegas, we should be we just need a 1 defensive lineman or just 1 or 2 guys on the team, and we're fucking set. We're gonna make a good push, for a Super Bowl run in 2023. Now it's looking like a 3-year window, so it's really demoralizing. Mo Morris says Gus Bradley had this defense competitive last year, should have kept the defense the same, and McDaniels focused 100% on the offense, and it made no sense to keep $20 million in cap space and not sign an O-line. Yeah, you know what? I don't think I would have hated that. I know some of Raider Nation wasn't huge on Gus Bradley, and I thought our defensive coordinator now is going to do a lot better than last year, but it's just been dog shit, So, you're right especially if they could have just kept him and kept that continuity, right? Then yeah, McDaniels could have focused a lot more on just the offense, but these fucking guys come in and they want to get just too cute, man. So, all right, we desperately need a tank to draft a QB, Bryce Young. Dude, I'm at a point now where it's just I don't know, man. I don't know how to explain it. It's just it's really stressful, man. Too tired to yell, and I don't want to be yelling on the microphone anymore. I'd love to have Bryce Young or CJ Stroud. That's where I'm at with it, man. I'm ready for some new blood. Always loved Derek Carr as a human being. I wished he could have been the guy. I just think that, I was ready to move on from him 3 years ago. I think he's had his chances, and it's just not good enough. And it hurts me to say that, but, I've had to come to terms with like being at that place in my soul where I'm just like ready to move on to the next chapter. So, and Carr should be ready to move on to his next chapter too. Things could have been different, and all around, Carr could have also taken 25 million instead of 35, 44 million, whatever the fuck. So he didn't do that. So he made his he chose his path at this point. That's where I'm at. You know, I like had he taken a big pay cut like he should have to help this team, so we get the talent to get us over the hump and possibly make a Super Bowl run and have him be that quarterback. Had he taken a huge pay cut, then I would have been like all for it. His actions, his fruit, right? You know someone by their fruit. Then I'd probably be a lot more supportive of him. But he wanted to cripple the team where we can't get enough talent and we're going to overpay him. And I say, fuck that shit. Don't overpay anybody that much money. Even Lamar Jackson. That dude ain't, like, I know some people saying, like, give him a big contract and shit. He's not worth it. You ain't going to have no money to sign other people on your team. You got to think about it like you know, you got to use your brain. You can't just think about it like, oh, well, it sounds good, and, you know, this money just falls from the sky, and we'll make it all happen. It won't happen. We won't have no money for the other talent we need. Look at the fucking cap space. All right. Rated by Nature, the best fans in the world, and we get shunned every year. Yeah, man, it's fucked. It is. It really has pissed me off this year and today, and it's like, yeah, every year is just the same old bullshit, man. What's the point to keep 20 million space in the O-line? Signing Sue would have changed the entire complexity of the season. I'm not 100% convinced on that. I mean, Sue would have helped. You know, they're keeping money to probably try to keep Carr for another year was their thinking, and to have more money next year to sign guys. That's what I think. Which isn't it? That's not, I mean, because like otherwise you spend all your money and you got no rollover, and then you're cash strapped the next year. All right, Ronald, what's up, man? Carr needs to go immediately. This overpaid quarterback sucks. 9 seasons and more excuses, no progress. Greeting from Australia. What's up, mate? Thanks for joining in. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at, man. It's just like, it's just excuses after excuses. I like the guy. I'm really upset he got so emotional today. I'm not as upset at him. I'm upset he waited this long to get the team like to this point. Like he should have taken this step before it got to this point. That's why I'm upset. And I do. I feel kind of bad for him, man. But at the same point, I don't, because he could have taken a pay cut and he could have made a choice to step up and be that guy long before today, and we're 2-7. And now he probably realizes that he's not going to be the Raiders quarterback anymore after this year. So, you know, I mean, unless he was crying during getting a contract extension, I don't, you know, which I'm sure he wasn't, you know, I don't see the point, but whatever. So, but yeah, good comment. Thank you. All right, Mo Morris, and not bring back Solomon Thomas and Ngakwe, Hayward were terrible mistakes. Oh, not bringing back. Yeah. Casey Hayward and Ngakwe, and then Solomon Thomas. Yeah. No, you're right, because that would have definitely Solomon Thomas and Ngakwe is way better than Chandler Jones. We thought we were getting an upgrade. We took a downgrade. I don't remember what we were paying Ngakwe, but man. Yeah, 22%. No way, Jose. All right, I'm trying to get caught up here. I'm behind a little bit. That was about the playoff percentage. I mean, how do you not hold like some responsibility? The highest paid guy on the team, and the guy that's like not just the highest paid but supposed to be the leader of the team. At some point, dude, he's got to go from being good to being like great. Okay, like if you're just gonna be good, then you have to get a paycheck that's just good, not great. Okay, and the contract extension we gave him was great, not good. Okay, that's great money. That's a great contract, and he's playing good, average to good, and you know that's I think that's important to like keep that into perspective, dude. Is like keep things in proper perspective. Because if he was like making like okay money, then my expectations are going to be okay. You know, my standards aren't going to be as high. So that's how I look at it. At some point, dude, a player's got to make plays, man. You know what I mean? So, but you're right. He hasn't had a great defense, to say the least. Our defense has sucked for a long time. You know, remember we could have got Devin White and we got Cleveland Farrell instead of Devin White. I mean, like the whole thing, like every time I think about it, it just pisses me off. So, all right, Raider 24 Nation, how you doing, Nation? My son Raider had his heart surgery. Oh shit, and we need prayers and help. Anyone can do. Oh man, that's. All right, let's do a moment of silence for Raider 24 Nation, man. All right, brother. Hope or if you said your son, it could be a female, but I hope your son's doing okay. That's really sad, and you know, be thinking about him, and you know, I hope he's all right. You know, let us know. Give us an update in the chat at some point here down the road. You know, please. All right, Rob Ryan for defense coordinator, if not intern head coach. Yeah, you know, I was talking to Stu a few weeks ago. That's what I said. I said I like Rob Ryan. I know one of his stints with us, he didn't do that great, but dude, Rob Ryan should be our defense coordinator. I like Rob Ryan. That's actually a great take, man. I would definitely want Rob Ryan to be our defense coordinator. Maybe our defensive coordinator will get shit canned. Jesse V, what's up, man? Let's be real. They used Carr to lure Adams, get rid of 95% of last season's T. I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, man. I don't trust McDaniels or fucking Ziegler. I think they're snaked in the grass, man. They ain't Raiders. So, I mean, you know, I definitely think there's some shenanigans, some like, you know, you could just tell when someone's fake. You know what I mean? Like, they're doing a press conference, acting like lame ducks, pretending to be stupid, you know. You know, and most of us Raider Nation, like, this is the thing. Maybe that shit works over in fucking the East Coast or the Patriots or something, man. I don't know, but most of us Raider fans, like, are blue collar, like rough nosed motherfuckers. Like, we can tell fake ass fucking people and here in Raider Nation, you know. Most of us, at least, if we've been a Raider fan for more than, you know, a few years, like, this is who we are, man. It's in our blood. Like, most of us, we don't just like eat, sleep, and breathe and die like Raider fans, you know. We like it's like part of who we are, because most of us, I feel like, at least, are kind of like outcasts of the world, and that's kind of how the Raiders are, like, you know. So it's like a fit, you know. And so you know, we can kind of see us, you know, like a fish out of water kind of thing. Oh, what we got here? I'm not a Raiders fan, but I'm a fan of Carr since Fresno State. You said Carr, but I'm pretty sure you mean Carr. I don't know, man. That's kind of weird. I'm glad you're a fan of Carr. I'll just say that. When he goes, I guess you can go move on to another team. That's like saying, like, think about it, like how I could put this in perspective. It's like, you know, I'm not a fan of like a Toyota, but since it has the emblem on it, you know, I like that car or something. I don't know, or not even the emblem. That's probably a bad analogy, but I'm just saying, like, you know, it's like a car that has like the car seats you want. And that's the only reason, like, you like the car or something weird, man. I don't even know how to, like, explain that. But you should check, like, you know, if you're just going to be a car supporter for that reason, awesome, that's great. But, like, you should really, like, analyze, like, your fandom or, like, why you're supporting either a person or a fucking team, man. Have some more loyalty than just one human being. Because the thing is, man, we all come and go. But the silver and black will live forever. I mean, all right, Mason Andrews. I like Shroud over Young. That's kind of where I'm at now. I'm kind of curious to see how like some of the combine shit happens and whatnot, but I personally like C.J. Stroud a little bit more than Bryce Young. But Bryce Young is probably better scheme fit for McDaniels. DB, defensive backs are too talented to be this inconsistent, or what are you talking about? Gruden put Mariota package in for a reason. Like Drew Brees, Carr has similar mobility limitations. Taysom Hill dynamic was very key. For McDaniels to overlook that was a mistake. Need a Taysom Hill. Yeah, okay, that's a good point. The flip side of that is like we were paying Mariota a lot of money. I don't remember how much it was, like 4 to 6 million or something crazy. Like I'm pretty sure Mariota was like the highest paid backup quarterback in the NFL. So for us to keep Mariota like that and to be paying Derek Carr that kind of money, just a lot to have on the books. So. All right, your boy Scorpio said Gruden was our man, and the NFL sabotaged him. The NFL will never allow us to be great. We're the most hated team in NFL history. Facts. I mean, I agree with that. But where I'm going to veer off path a little bit is we got to think about this from a business standpoint, in my opinion, at least. So, you got to look at who invested for us to get a stadium. Okay, the NFL put up $500 million for us to get the stadium, $500 million for us to get the stadium. So the NFL has it's like the NFL is a partial owner of our stadium, okay, and the NFL has a financial interest in what the Raiders do moving forward, okay, just like if they own stock in a company and they're a partial owner of a company or something like that. That's how the NFL is with the Raiders now. The NFL is going to do, and I would say this even if it wasn't the Raiders in Vegas. But any NFL team in Vegas, because like Vegas is huge without even like a Super Bowl at an NFL stadium in Vegas, okay? A lot of people go to Vegas just for the Super Bowl to do betting and all that shit, you know? So the Super Bowl is always a big event, even before a team came there, let alone a team come there with a stadium that's going to host a Super Bowl event. So now you add in all that other revenue with now a whole Super Bowl at that venue in Vegas and at our stadium, and they're going to rake in tons of money. I bet you Vegas is going to make the NFL more money than probably any other city and any other stadium in NFL history. Now, whether that's this year or the next time they do a Super Bowl in Vegas, to be determined. But the NFL definitely has a financial interest in the Raiders. So even though we are the most hated team, I think the NFL is going to switch. And they're going to, once we get out of this, Gruden persona, hardcore Raider fans, and they replace us or try to replace us with a bunch of, suit and tie motherfuckers, which is never going to happen. I think they think it will happen, but it never will. But once they, try to, move it to that shift, they're going to want this reoccurring cash cow to make them money. Because that's all they fucking care about is making money. So we're going to go, here's my opinion of it. We're going to go from the hated, most hated team in the NFL to the NFL darlings. You know what I mean? You already have guys like Rich Eisen. I like Rich Eisen, but you have guys like him before the NFL season started, and he was supporting the Raiders and stuff. That never happened in years past. I know it's because we got Devontae Adams and stuff, but yeah, so. All right, let's try to get through some of these. Don't let those tears fool you. I think he knows his days are numbered, man. I think, but the thing is, he should have came to this realization, this point, long before today, long before 2-7, and he needs to do some inward evaluation and see if he's gonna give up and crumble inside, or if he's gonna step up and suck it up and drive on. And figure out a way to be a leader of men. So, a better leader. Is a coaching problem? No. Nick Gain said. I mean, yeah, I've said that. So, yeah, no, I think coaching has been terrible. I think they're setting Carr up for failure. I think they're setting the whole fucking team up for failure. I think they're tanking for a quarterback. If the Raiders can snag Javon Solomon, defensive end from Troy, and Forster, offensive tackle from Missouri, I'll keep an eye on them. Thanks for putting that out there. Appreciate that. Yeah, we definitely need offensive tackle and a defensive end, and even a defensive tackle too. But yeah, so thanks. All right, Jesse V. Anyways, they used Carr to lure Adams, got rid of 95%. Season team make the playoffs, Pro Bowls. This is definitely a tank and rebuild. It is, dude. Yeah. No, I agree, Jesse, man. Like, there's no other way. Even though I'm a Carr critic, dude, like, I hate leaders that set their people up for failure, and I think that's what McDaniels is doing 100%. And I think that's one of the reasons why, like, Carr's hurting right now. I think that, like, he feels he's being set up for failure. I mean, Mark Davis went in the locker room after the game. I don't know. Sounds like that's probably doesn't happen too often. I'm curious if Mark Davis said anything to the team. So, pretty interesting. Maybe they told Carr that they're gonna, bench him or something. I don't know, man. But I see a shitstorm coming. Really in the field P said break the bank for Lamar Jackson or go with a rookie. No, I wouldn't break the bank for Lamar, dude. I think he's a great player. I do. I don't think he's worth $50 million a year. I mean, you got to think, like, at some point, even this Chiefs contract with Mahomes, it's going to catch up to them. The Chiefs aren't going to be able to be dominant like they are for a very long time. You just can't, dude. Once you start paying a quarterback like too much money or that much money, it catches up to a team. Unless you're hitting on all your draft picks like that, and you can like not pay other players and you cycle through players and you keep guys on cheap contracts, there's just no way, man. There's no way you could pay a player that much money and still build a team, unless you had gotten those other players on a fairly cheap contract. It's just the reality of the fucking nature of the beast. And a lot of these guys are asking way too much money. I mean, I know it's not our money, and they say they raise the cap space, but it's not enough. It's just like this recycling fucking process where it's like if you don't have a quarterback on a cheap contract, you're hurting. That's really almost the name of the game, is to try to find a quarterback on a fairly cheap contract. So that's my opinion, at least. Everybody thinks you can pay a quarterback like, 35, 40, 50 mil a year and still have the money to pay everybody else. You just won't. It's just not reality. So Manuel Rivera says we need some dogs on that defense. We do, man. We need defensive guys bad, besides Max Crosby and Hobbs for sure. Caesar Beltran says Raiders in troubles. Yeah, definitely, man. It sucks. All right, Rob Jackson said don't forget Alex Smith. Pretty much had the same disorganization in San Francisco. Andy Reid saw the BS and then took him. No one was expecting Mahomes. No, you're right. I wasn't either. I knew he was a back. I knew of him a little bit, but not a lot. And when my buddy Raider Dave told me about Mahomes being a backup and how great he was, because Dave followed him in college, I was like, man, whatever. And I was really surprised when the Chiefs got rid of Alex Smith. I was like, why would they even get rid of Alex Smith? I thought he was a good quarterback, but it worked out for him. Unfortunate for us, but. All right. Killa 187 said, if Raiders go 4-13, should Josh get canned or give him another year? I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, because that's the thing. Like, I'm really pissed at this coach. Because I try to think about things from all scenarios. I really do. I get like emotional, but if you're a head coach, you move into a team and you know that your job is going to be on the line, depending on how like what you do at the quarterback position, because the quarterback really determines, that's like the cornerstone piece of how good a team can be. And if you're not going to win with that quarterback, I mean, and your job is going to be on the line and you got to move on from that guy, you almost can't blame him if he's going to tank to try to draft a quarterback If he knows another quarterback, if you could either get the same production for not as much money, or even better, like more ceiling, then to some degree, I mean, wouldn't you try to do that? I guess. Like, I don't like it. It really pisses me off because I hate leaders that set people up for failure. But at this point, I think Carr has had enough for us to see what he is and is not. And unless we had just a lot of perfect things around him and pieces around him, I just don't think he's going to be able to take us to the promised land. So I think at this point, probably Mark Davis is probably more leaning towards keeping the continuity at coaching versus keeping continuity at the quarterback position. So Rob Jackson said, remember Crabtree was good with Alex Smith, and then all of a sudden everyone said he sucked. When Cooper Nick was his quarterback, and then all of a sudden you went Carr, and he was good again. You're right. Carr and Crabtree had a great connection. I love Crabtree when he was a Raider. I was actually upset when he left. So, yeah. All right. Shoot the Moon said the QB draft class is full of future busts this year. I don't know. I mean, it could be. I mean, to me, it looks like there's some really talented guys that have potential. So it's always to be determined. All right, Rob Jackson. Remember Crabtree? Oh. You got demoted, and then Crabtree was a 1,000-yard receiver given to Carr. Yeah, he did good with Carr. I mean, but we also had a really good offensive line, too, to block for Carr. And Carr was on, rookie contract, so we weren't paying him top dollar money, I believe. I'm trying to remember what year that was. Was that 2016? Because we paid Carr 2017. We didn't do very good 2017, so, and I think that was the last year. I can't remember if Crabtree's last year was 2016 or 2017. I think it was 2017. Ryan Jones tight end for ECU would be a matching nightmare for opposing defenses. Raiders should snag him at the late round. Ryan Jones. I'll have to check him out too, thanks. Matt Stafford only took Detroit to playoffs twice before he went to the RA. You mean the Rams? Are we not going to talk about these fake injuries we got? Nobody wants to play for McDaniels. I mean, I think there's a lot to be said there. I mean, I do. I think this coaching staff is absolutely fucking horrible, man. So yeah, I mean, I don't deny it at all. Ooh, there's a lot more. Holy cow. All right, let me get through these. All right, the problem here is the organization lied to us fans about being contenders and shooting for a Super Bowl. Like, what the fuck, bro? That's okay. That is probably the best, if not the best, one of the best comments of the night, because that's where I stand. Is you're absolutely right. Mark Davis and all of them told us it wasn't a rebuild and we were going, making a playoff run. And then this coaching staff has been absolutely fucking dog shit. And then saying they're not going to flip over tables and all this bullshit. So, yeah, I mean, that's 100. Like, we got hoodwinked, man. We got tricked. And, that's really fucking pisses me off. Raiders trade their picks away. All right, Matt Stafford went to the playoffs twice until he joined the Rams. Drew Brees was washed, and then he went to the Saints and became who he is. Drew Brees was washed up and then went to the Saints. So, I don't know. I mean, so you got to look at the big picture, okay? I don't remember who the Saints got when Drew Brees went there, but I think they had a pretty good defense, if I remember right. They had some pieces there and whatnot. So, I mean, there's that. And then Matthew Stafford. I mean, the Rams had a lot of pieces already in place, and they had a really good coach. Saints had a really good coach, too. So, I mean, good coaching can go a long ways. So, Not exactly sure where you're trying to go with that, but I would say coaching and the other elements in place, meaning other players on the team, is like can go a long ways for what you're talking about. So Waller needs to go. Hasn't been healthy since last 2 years, along with Jones. It really depends. I mean, like I like Waller. I think he has potential, but it really depends on the dead cap money. How much money are you going to eat after that contract? Because I don't know. It's probably too much. We're probably stuck with him. I mean, to be honest with you, just shoot you straight. I know everybody wants to trade Darren Waller, but if you're going to eat a bunch of money and still have to pay him, I mean, they're probably not going to do that. So thanks, man. Appreciate it, Frank. If you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you guys subscribe. Let me show you guys the jersey we're giving away Saturday, Thanksgiving weekend. It's going to be a large size Devontae Adams jersey. So pretty sick. Excited to give it away to you guys. You got to be in the live chat for this jersey. So that'll be Saturday, Thanksgiving weekend. Record prediction to finish the year. Fuck, I don't know. We just did it like a week ago. Me, Raider Ben, and some other guys. I think I had us at like 9-8. I had us losing the Jags and beating the Colts. So I'm 1 for 1 on my mid-year prediction. But as of right now, fuck, we'd be lucky to win like maybe 5 games, I want to say. So maybe probably closer to 4 games. So like at this point, we're lucky to win 2 to 3 more games. I mean, yeah, I know, Mason. Adams left Green Bay for this shit. Yeah, it is, man. I feel bad. I feel bad for him because he grew up as a Raider fan. Hey, at least he's getting thrown in the fire. He's learning what it means to be a Raider. Because this seems like no matter who we get, like no matter how good they are, we just fuck up people's career. It seems like it's really frustrating. Which Canada was considered a bust for Kansas City and Minnesota until end up with us? Which Canada was considered? I don't know. All right, Raider 7528. Carr is not a top 20 QB. You got Mahomes, Geno, Josh Hurts, Burrow, Lamar, Herbert, Dak, Tua, Kyler, Rodgers, Kirk, Jimmy, Ryan, Daniel, Matthew, Fields. There might be a few in there I'd argue that Carr might be better than. And some of those guys might have a little bit better setup on their team than Carr does right now. But, I mean, I think you could argue either way on that. Yeah, what Raider 24 Nation, you said you wanted your son to get a shout out? He had tell me what your son's name is, and we'll give your Raider son a shout out. Is his name Raider? Is that his actual name? Is that a picture of him on your little screen there? His surgery and doing well. Everybody say a prayer for Raider 24's son, man. Let's get that guy, his son, healthy. All right, Jesse V. I disagree. Even with Tom Brady, Raiders could not have made the Raiders Super Bowl contenders in the last 9 years. I don't know about that. I might disagree with you on that one, bud. And I hate Tom Brady, but like I always try to like be like real too. Shoot the moon. Shouldn't spend $30 million on a receiver either. I mean, at this point, if we're rebuilding, I mean, it does seem kind of silly. Rob Jackson, Rich Gannon was a wash till he was a Raider. Ryan Tannehill. Rich Gannon, yeah, I mean, Rich Gannon wasn't very good until he became a Raider, but we had a lot of, like, we had Tim Brown, and then we ended up getting Jerry Rice 1 or 2 years later after Gannon got here, so, yeah. Honestly, hate looking forward to, yeah, me too. I honestly hate looking forward to a season where we are supposed to be great and look like a dumpster fire like almost every year since we had lost the Super Bowl. Dude, we've been cursed, man. It's been so fucked. No matter what we do. I will say I know a lot of guys liked Randy Moss coming to the Raiders, but I always hated that guy. But other than Randy Moss, most of the other like guys we've got brought in here to like make a difference that were like big top guys. I thought we were going to be better and it was going to, make a big difference. But most of them just, it's like they come here to die. They used to come here to rejuvenate their careers, but teams constantly make mistake calls. Peyton Manning's career is over. Oops. No, it wasn't. Marshall Fogg's best days are behind him. Oops. Edgar James. Oops. It's kind of funny. All right. When the defense gets stops, he still don't convert. Okay. McDaniels did the same thing in Denver. He gets rid of talent, drafts a nobody, gets fired, and runs back to Belichick. That's actually pretty funny. I mean, that is true. Who's going to be the who's going to be the Tim Tebow of this draft? It's probably going to be the Garrett Schrader guy I like or something like that. It'll probably be someone that I chose. Buffalo Martin Lynch is done. Oops. All right, I don't know what you're saying, bud. I'm not going to even read it. All right, his contract is $19 million for that year. That's not huge money. For the year, the Raiders have an out for next year at $5 million cap hit. Are you talking about Derek Carr, Paul? I mean, I think Derek Carr is $19 million this year, but next year it's $35, and then it goes like $44. But like the thing is, you got to make a decision this year. You got to make, if you're gonna get rid of Carr, you have to like decide like right after the Super Bowl in that three-day window, you're gonna be stuck with them. Rob Jack says McDaniels doing exactly what he said he wouldn't. We went to Denver. He said he made a mistake trying to make everyone immediately learn his instead of slowly combining them. This is deja vu. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking the same thing. If you put their first date side by side, Alex Smith and Carr pretty much have the same BS coach every year. And in the years that were offense more than 1 year, they did good. Okay. I live in Tampa, and all my Tampa friends want Brady finally retire, and they want to trade for Carr. He'd actually have a defense in Tampa because a lot of their starters are hurt right now. Carr no wheels. Be funny if went to Tampa and won a Super Bowl. That would be. It seems like we always. It's like this weird thing with Tampa and the Raiders. He said he was going to run the offense from last year and slowly incorporate his offense, and he continues to get caught blocking Carr. What he does best, making adjustments at line. He's not letting him. I mean, I think there's something to that, Rob. I mean, I really do. As a Carr critic, like I really do think that like they're like crippling Carr, but that's why I said Carr has to step up. He's got to go against the grain and just do what he's got to do, man. Go against the coaching. At some point, it's not going to matter. You got to do what you know is best, you know? He said, Carr ain't winning no bowl. Chris Mason, Cowboys are the most hated team, not the Raiders. No, they aren't. Dude, get the fuck out of here. Dude, I lived in Texas, man. Like, both my sergeants were Cowboy fans. All I heard every fucking morning at like 5:30 in the morning before formation and PT was like them talking shit about the Raiders. And anyway, so it's coaching. You could see it when Renfro and Adams ran the exact same route on the opposite sides of the field and run into each other. Other than that is play calling. That's hard. That one is hard to say. You could be right, but it's hard to really say. I don't know. I think Renfro fucked that up is what I think. Yeah. All right. I read Rob's, or I read it silently. All right. Really in that field, Pete. Only a matter of time until Mad Max, Devontae Adams, and Darren Waller all want out of this bullshit. I would not waste my career fucking around waiting for a potential injury with no reward. I mean, that's crazy, but it could happen. I'm going to hope it doesn't happen, though, because I really like those guys, man, especially Max and Adams. I grew up in Tampa. I hate the Bucks, but Doug Williams, Steve Young, Trent Dilfer, they all won Super Bowl when they left. Even Chris Chanderlern made it to the Super Bowl when he left. Cujo, why we need a better team? DC is not at fault, but there is no crying at football, whatever. Rob Jackson, are you a Raiders fan or are you a Tampa Bay fan? I haven't figured that out yet. The difference is Carr's never had a defense last year. Best defense we ever had. Now, what the hell does that say? I mean, yeah, our defense sucks, dude. I mean, Grew was 4-12 his first year. Still, get rid of Carr. Need a fresh start from both parties. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at, man. Essentially, Rob Jackson said Derek Carr got sacked a lot. Yeah, I know that, dude. I wanted Johnny Manziel over Carr back in the day. Yeah, I didn't. I never liked Johnny Manziel. McDumbass is fucking the team and Raider Nation. He needs to go back to the Pats. That's what Paul said. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, man. I don't know. There's so much like fucked up shit with this team. It's like we're at a point where like all I see is full rebuild because there's so many issues. And it's like, well, should you keep a coach and try to have some continuity or whatever? So Rob Jackson essentially saying Carr needs more. Yeah, I agree. Mason Andrews said that's a good take. McDaniels really feels like a snake. When you listen to him, you think he's setting Carr up to get number one pick. I do. That's my opinion, man. I mean, I can't exactly approve it, but like my thing is like, dude, I call him Ronald McDonald because he's a clown, but Coach McDonald, he coached the Patriots for 20 years. They always kept their foot on the gas. All of a sudden, he comes to the Raiders and he forgets how to like finish games. I'm not buying it for a minute. I think it's like bullshit. But Bill Holloway says this regime brought in players who supposedly knew the system. Where are all of them now? Cut or retired? I don't know. That's a good point. Yeah, you're right. The year that Carr was balling out in 2016, he broke his leg. Mariota, same day as Mariota. I remember that. And then our backup got hurt. McGroin is what I called him. All right, Cujo, blah, blah, blah. Fucking bullshit. Be around as long as I have is bullshit. Same shit. P.S. Don't pay JJ. Same as Waller and Renfro. Yeah, dude, we're paying guys that haven't earned their contract. It's like a Raiders repeat of the past. What moves would I make as head coach and GM in the next 2 to 3 years to make a Super Bowl run? So, I guess it depends what we paid McDaniels, Coach McDonald, and you know, how long he's locked into the contract for. It's hard for me to say right now. I do think he's a bad leader. Like, he hasn't adjusted his leading style. But I do think there could be potential for him to do good in the future. But it probably means a full rebuild, like Gruden did, and like most coaches do. And that hurts. That sucks. All right. Now this one, Hurts is garbage. I completely disagree with this. Hurts was one of the guys that I actually wanted in that draft, and we didn't get him. The Eagles moved up like right before us and got him, but I really wanted Jalen Hurts, like really bad. I saw something different in that dude than most. DK Metcalf, what's up, man? He said, hey. That'd be cool if it was the real DK Metcalf. That dude's a stud, man. I would see, because Sean Payton was saying on Monday night that he wants to coach again. I would offer a draft pick for Sean Payton. I know. Yeah, you're doing the Mitchell Renz take. I got it. I don't exactly agree with that. I mean, what are you going to trade for him, man? I mean, like Mitchell Renz saying a first-round draft pick or some shit? Like, I don't know, man. Mitchell Renz has came a long way versus where he used to be, so I respect him more than back then. But I'm just saying, like, we got to build our team. We need our draft picks, and I don't know that Sean Payton is just like, you know, giving up draft pick is worth it when we need so much around our team. So, but I do think Sean Payton's a great coach. So, at the end of the day, I'm just tired of this shit. I am too, man. We all are, dude. Like, anybody that's been a Raider fan long before Vegas, man, we've put our heart and souls in this team, you know. So. Crew Joe says, depressed in seeing Walters throw a touchdown to Randy Moss in 06. Live, it was nice, but was the tribute game to Madden Gold Jacket. Also, the 2 games they won that year. Haha. Guess what game? Oh, man. Charter said, Breeze washed up. They were wrong. Bills wrong about lunch. Colts, Falk. Bills wrong about beast mode. Miami wrong about Tannehill. Our last Super Bowl team, everybody was considered washed up. Rich Gannon. Our last Super Bowl team, everybody was considered washed up. Rich Gannon, Vikings. Yeah, maybe some could say that about Gardner, Rice. I don't know about Gannon, maybe, but you know, we had players on our team, and we had Woodson and Eric Allen, and wasn't Greg Beaker on our team for linebacker? So like, we had a lot of pieces on our team though. So I don't know. We had a good offensive line, Lincoln Kennedy. Who's the lineman? I can't think of his name, but there's another good lineman we had too. There's a few good linemen, but oh, there we go. He said Romanowski, Woodson, Eric. Romanowski came, I think, the year after we went to the Super Bowl. But that was good coaching that also helped rejuvenate those guys' career. All right. Almost done here. All said and done, we all root for the Shield. We continue to do so. That's right. Raider Nation for life right here, man. For sure. All right. Let's see what else this guy has to say. All right. Rob Jackson. Raider Nation for life, but I'm stuck here in Tampa with delusional fans. Fuck Captain Tuck Roll. And trying to tell me Rodney Barber was better than Charles. Was system corner back just like D'Angelo Hall. All right. Field P says, what's what with McDaniels running trick plays to Devontae Adams? I think he's trying to, I don't know. Like, I know a lot of people are against the trick plays. I know they're not working, but I think he's trying to set up a trick play to get the defense to bite on it, and then it not be a trick play and for a big play. That's what I think he's trying to do, but it's not working. And I think Devontae may not be the right guy to be using for those plays. If we had a little fast, shifty guy, it could work. But like maybe DJ Turner, but I don't know why they're not trying to put him in for those, so I don't know. All right, Crew Joe said, yep, we had a good team, almost max CC to get a Super Bowl game. Nah, he was there. I live in San Diego. School said no. I'm forced to watch box games because that's what televised. My friends watch Raider games with me. They said they'd be happy to take DC. They said, hope we screw it up and that they get next year. One of my customers I was working at this weekend, he's a Niners fan. I asked him if he would take Derek Carr over Jimmy Garoppolo, and he said, hell yeah, like without hesitation. So, I mean, you're right. There's other teams that would definitely take Derek Carr. You know, I think sometimes like a change of scenery is just needed for certain people and they can do better, you know, just like sometimes we have to go to a new job and we get rejuvenated and things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. You know, it's just like, I don't know, I guess just when I kind of think about it in deep thought, it's like as much as like I critique Carr, like I still like part of me still has hope that like he could take the Raiders to a Super Bowl and it'd be awesome because I think he deserves it. You know, it would be nice to see Carr succeed as a Raider and win a Super Bowl, but I just don't think it's realistic. And I just think he took too much money with that contract. And for us we just need too many other things, man. We can't pay Carr that kind of money for mediocre play and whatnot. So Paul said, yeah, he is spamming the chat, but whatever. Oh, Crew Joe said Romo was at the Super Bowl. I don't know. Was Romo a Raider that year? All right. Your boy Scorpio says he's in Sacktown, but been in Vegas for 10 years plus, or from Sacktown. And then you tell me ain't nothing worse than new Raider fan. They'll run their mouth way too much about the team and have no idea. You're right. Hell yeah. Fierce Raider 88, man. What's up, brother? One of the OGs up in here, man. Hope you're doing good, man. Salute. How you been, Fierce? I'm getting ready to close it down here, but it's good to see you. Oh, before I forget, Devontae Adams jersey giveaway. Boom. Okay, Saturday, Thanksgiving weekend. You got to be live in the chat, though, okay? So, and it's the real deal. It's no knockoff shit, so, all right. All right. Cujo said, yeah, no words, dude. We all have hope we would be back. Any player would rock with us, man. Field P says he lives in the Bay Area right now. Been a Raider fan all my life. Hell yeah, dude. Salute. Oh, thanks, Raiders fan. Appreciate it. Anybody else, you know, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the like button. I'm a fiery Raider fan. We usually bring on other content creators and, you know, some other guys in here. We don't always do shows. Kind of went ghost for a few years there, but, you know, we're definitely going to be trying to do some shows here and there. We did one the other night with, like, me, Violator, Captain Jack, Stuart Swagger came on. Who else? Raider Critique was in there. I think Raider Ben came on for a minute, and then OG Raider was in there. So it was a pretty good show, you know. We kind of freestyle it, you know, but you know, so, yeah. So, anyways, you know, we're trying to get something worked out here soon too. So I think Thanksgiving weekend we're trying to plan a big show. So definitely got a lot to talk about, you know, and I want to get, you know, I always try to get other people's opinion because, like, you know, I'm a real emotional. This is why I don't usually go live the same day that we play unless we win or something. But, you know, because I'm usually so pissed off, like, all I do is cuss and, fucking rant and raving for like, a long time because I'm pissed, so, the car kind of getting a little emotional, got me a little fired up. I feel for the guy, but he's got to take those emotions and do something with them. That's my take on it. So is at my funeral, I'll have Raiders be my pallbearer so they can let me down one more time. Oh, dude, that's fucked up. That's funny, though. That was a good one. Scorpio, how to win the jersey besides being in the chat? Yep, just subscribe, be in the chat. I'm just going to make it live. Anybody live in the chat that Saturday, I'll announce the exact times. We get a little closer here. I'm trying to get a couple details worked out. But, yeah, just be in the chat, be subscribed, and then I'm just going to pick one. I'm going to put all the names of everybody in the chat that Saturday. Even if it's like, fuck you, hardcore Raider, I hate you, I'll still put you in the chat and or in the contest, and then we'll do it live on the air. And I'd prefer to bring someone, whoever wins it, like on live where they can join, but we'll see. All right, Fierce Raider, he said it'd been good. Wish our team was better, man. Our team is trash. Defense terrible. Coach McDaniels, worst head coach ever. Dude, it's so true. I've been going off on this fucking clown, man. It's like, oh my God. How's this dude coach for like 20 years? Always kept his foot on the gas, and like he just forgets to do it. Like once he comes to the Raiders, and I don't know. It's mind boggling, man. It's like, I don't know. I don't have any words for it, dude. It's just, I just feel like this whole team, like we're in full rebuild mode right now, and they're probably going to get rid of Derek Carr. And I've been critical of Derek Carr, but I think McDaniels setting him up for failure, as I said earlier, and I think McDaniels is purposely tanking, because you got to think, if you're a head coach, you come onto a team and you feel like Derek Carr isn't your guy, and if you're going to pay him too much money and you're not going to be able to get the other talent around him, wouldn't you want to try to tank to get a stud quarterback, or if you thought that was going to be a future quarterback for a cheaper deal? You probably would if you knew you had a long-term plan and you were going to be here a while. See, Gruden was a Raider. Like, he has some Raider loyalty. McDaniels, he ain't got no loyalty, man. He ain't a fucking Raider, so. Thank you, Crew Joe. I'm going to be crashing out here soon. Let's see what else these other guys said. The Raiders fuck with my mental health. You and me both, brother. You and me both. And probably most of Raider Nation. Dude, I was so, pumped for this year once we got Adams. Even the year we got Antonio Brown, dude, I thought, man, I was like, yeah, dude, they're really trying. And I didn't realize they were trying just to tank. And that, it's just like every year is just like some shit show. Like, we can't even have, a normal fucking year, man. Oh, thank you, Jerry. Just subbed. You think we keep Carr next season to keep a new QB? If we cut him, we still save $80 million to pay for everything else. Fire Josh McDumbass. I agree with most of what you said. I like the idea of keeping Carr for one more year. But, if you're going to be stuck in that contract, and depending on how much money you're going to eat, I don't know. That's depending on how much money we would eat if we, kept him for a year and then cut him. I don't know. That it's a tough decision to make, no doubt. Fierce Raider said, we literally tried to beat a high school head coach and lost at home. I feel like we're outplayed because Jeff Saturday has more motivation and got more out of his players. Absolutely, dude. Coach Ronald McDonald for the Raiders said that he's not going to throw over any tables, and if you need a speech to get fired up, then essentially you shouldn't be in the NFL. And I'm just like, this guy's a fucking complete idiot. When he said that, and not just that, but think about what this guy said repeatedly. You guys need to learn how to not lose. You need to learn how to not lose. You need to learn how to not lose. So what's going to be in the back of your mind if, your coach is telling you learn how to not lose? It's like this like psychology like bullshit that he's trying to fucking play, and it's like backfiring on him. Maybe that shit works out on the East Coast, but not fucking here with the Raiders, man. Scorpio said everybody hates us. Like he said, coaches just come here for the money. Mark Davis needs to sell the team. I mean, it's crazy. We need some continuity. We need something, man. Because, like, whatever the fuck they've been doing, even with Gruden, I love Gruden, but, like, his play calling and draft picks, not so much. But even with Gruden, man, I thought that was going to be good for us. And maybe it would have been had he not got shit canned last year, but I don't know. I don't know what's going to fix this fucking organization, dude. Yeah, you're right. Patriots was built on the tuck roll. I question McDaniels' ability to be a leader of men. No, absolutely. I mean, that's kind of, if you rewind it later on, that's kind of, I mean, I came out firing, dude. I'm a little more calm now because I'm tired, but, I mean, that's it, man. A lot of bad leadership all around. I mean, from Mark Davis to Josh McDaniels. I mean, Derek Carr, I don't think he lost us these last couple of games. I think he could have played better, but I think the leadership is complete flop. I don't even think they care about this year. I think week 3 they checked out and they're already looking at 2023. So, all right. Jerry Tully said there's an out in 2024 as well. I think I've heard something about that. I'll have to look more into that. I mean, if there's an out in Derek Carr's contract each year, if we could do it on a year-by-year basis and it's not that big of a hit to the team, then I'm not opposed to doing that. I just don't want to be stuck in a 3-year marriage for mediocre play or something, and I feel like we're paying him too much money. So he's got to play better if we're going to, even at 35 mil like next year and then like 43 or 44 mil the year after that. I mean, if we're going to pay him that kind of money, he's got to be playing way, way better, And a lot of that could be on the coaching too, setting people up for failure. So I definitely, take that in consideration, So Rob Jackson talking about Super Bowl and how Dilfer came back to Tampa and won a Super Bowl. I mean, what? Traded Dilfer and then came back to Tampa. No, Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl with the Ravens, dude. I don't know what you're talking about. And they had Trent Dilfer. Tampa Bay had Trent Dilfer before the Super Bowl, and then Trent Dilfer went to fucking the Ravens and won a Super Bowl over there. The year Siragusa sacked Rich Gannon and demolished Rich Gannon. The year we should have gone to the Super Bowl that year had Rich Gannon not got taken out. But anyway, so. All right, Raiders fan said Matt Ryan has the longest career run of nearly 40 yards with a fucking embarrassing. It was, dude. You see that old guy run on, like, he was running like Lamar Jackson and shit, dude. I was like, dude, what the fuck is going on? I'm like, is anybody going to tackle this old motherfucker, dude? I'm like, only the Raiders could, like, lose to a high school football coach and let fucking some crusty-ass old motherfucker run, like, 40 yards down the fucking sideline, like, and he's running for his life, dude. You could tell that was, like, he ran with, like, everything he had, like, for that shit. But he wanted it, and it fired up his team, man. That's Derek Carr should have done that shit. There's a couple times Carr could have ran, and should have ran, but he didn't. So there's that. Fierce Raider 88 says, exactly, we're playing not to lose. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like, what coach would, like, tell a professional player you need to learn how to not lose? Like when our coach kept saying that shit, it pissed me off. I'm still pissed off about it. Like, dude, you got to go about that shit a different way or something. I'm not saying I'm the best way, but that shit definitely don't work. All right, Francisco Pancho said, Raiders are awful. Drafting in the first round here. Few recently drafted first-round Ruggs, Abram, Farrell, Arnett, Josh Jacobs. Rather go after Lamar and draft defense. Heck, trade back. That was the old regime, so it's hard to say. I mean, I don't exactly disagree with like how we've been terrible. But Josh Jacobs, he was hurt. Sometimes last couple years, but Josh Jacobs is a good fucking. He's like a generational fucking talent. So yeah, guys like Jacobs, people think running backs grow on trees, but guys like Jacobs don't grow on trees, man. You got to keep that motherfucker, dude. He's like the heart and soul of this team. Raiders draft better in the 4th round. McClown's first few words out of his mouth on his post-game interview was, "It's like a broken record." Yeah, I mean, not just that, but like even like McDaniels like post-game press conference, he's like, "I told you guys," it was something. I'm trying to like remember exactly what he said or paraphrase it, but he's like, "I told you guys you need to learn how to not lose. Now we learn how to win." As soon as he said that, I was like, "What the fuck is this guy talking about, dude?" Like, nothing he said is gonna like motivate the fucking team. Like, Super Bowl winner this year. I'll go Bills. I always go for like an underdog or a team that hasn't won a Super Bowl. I know the Bills aren't an underdog, but they've never won a Super Bowl, so I'd like a team to win the Super Bowl that hasn't won it before. Definitely not the Chiefs. I don't want the Chiefs to win. That's for damn sure. Yeah, that Saragusa hat really fucked up Rich Gannon. Fierce Raider said Scorpio is right. Mark Davis needs to sell this team. His decision making is terrible. It is, dude. Like I don't know. Like I'm just lost for words because like I mean, what are we gonna do? Keep going through coaches? I mean, another rebuild. Keep Carr, get rid of Carr. I mean, the whole fucking thing is just fucked, man. If we cut him after next year, dead hit goes down to 3.75 mil. Oh, that's not that bad. I mean, if it was under that conditions, only 3.75 mil. I mean, yeah, I'd be willing to give him another shot in another year possibly. But he's got to really finish this year strong for me to really like kind of change course of like how I feel so far this year. So and he's shown us he can at times. So. Rob Jackson causing me to miss the radio Super Bowl in Tampa. Relief. I was making fun of book fans. They kept Sean Keane and got rid of Dilfer. I mean, yeah, but Dilfer wasn't that good. I mean, you got to think. I mean, Tampa Bay did have a really good defense because of Tony Dungy, but essentially what you're saying is, that Tampa could have won a Super Bowl with Dilfer, maybe. But when he went to the Ravens had an amazing defense that year. That was like one of the all-time historic defenses of all time. Jeff Frankie P, what's up, man? It's just too confusing at the moment with what the hell is really going on with this team. It is, dude. There's so many different elements. That's why it just like hurts my brain because I thought about it a lot, and I didn't think we were gonna do like that good a few weeks in because I felt like McDaniels was tanking, but I didn't think it was gonna be this bad. I'll be honest with you guys. I didn't see this coming at all. Like, I mean, I thought we were trending towards a path of like doing shitty. I just didn't think it was going to be this shitty. So it's like, I'm at a loss for words at this point. I think Matt Ryan run speed on Madden is 60. That's funny, Poncho. It's 60 on Madden, but today somehow he kicked it up to like 98 or some shit against the Raiders. And how is it we make every quarterback the fucking Nick Mullins of the world? We make like every quarterback look like fucking Tom Brady or Peyton Manning or I don't know, man. How do we make so many quarterbacks look good no matter what week it is? Mark Natus is not a football guy. Who is his right-hand man advising him? It used to be Mark Bodane, I believe. But right after we did the Vegas move, Mark Bodane essentially left or whatever. All right, there's a good one. Jerry Trolley. JJ28 is definitely the best running back in our division. We can't let him go like we did with Mac. I agree. He's probably going to want 10 to 12 mil, maybe a little more. But he's the heart and soul of this team. All right, let's see what Rob Jackson's saying. Buck fans say Chucky won with Dungy's defense, but they're wrong. Sam with drafted Sapp, Brooks, Barber, Lynch, but never gets credit. And I hate the Bugs. Okay. Yeah, I mean, those are, yeah, Bucks had an amazing team defense as far as that goes. Got to change the culture. Starts with the owner. Silver and Black 831. Appreciate it. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Hit the like button. Gonna be wrapping this up here. I think first McDaniels was worried that Josh Jacobs got Cadillac Williams. If you remember what group did to him in his first 2 to 3 years. Scorpio, I think McDaniels hates the Raiders because Al probably focused on the Raiders more than his childhood. Just me talking shit. Yeah, I mean, like, it's like after the Tuck game, it's like, oh, let's send McDaniels over the Raiders to fucking tank them for another 10 years. Feels like some weird shit, man. I bet you a bum like John Abrams coke back to Vegas and kick our ass. Oh, man. Yeah, dude. I think Jonathan Abrams is a good player. I don't think none of the Raiders coaches use Jonathan Abrams right, man. So, I don't know. I mean, he got hurt a little bit there, but we should have at least got some draft capital for him. If McDumbass is trying to win, how bad is he really? I mean, that would be really fucking bad. Jerry Tolley. So Magic Johnson wants to buy a minority share. Sean Payton can build the defense, and they get our guys off IR. I mean, Sean Payton is a good defensive-minded coach for sure. But, you know, he also had Drew Brees too. So, I mean, I think it's kind of a double-headed thing right there. The Raiders fan, Rob Jackson is weird. Fierce Raider said, I don't understand why we didn't keep Rich. It's tough to say, man. I don't know how much of last year was on emotions and, like, just guys playing higher than their levels, or if we could have sustained that emotions, or if Rich could have been a good head coach. You know, one thing I'll tell you about leadership, man, is just, like, if people... So, like, kind of interesting you say that, because it kind of made me think of something like my personal life. So, probably about 3 or 4 years into management, one of my managers, one of my last reviews he did before I left and went to a different company, he was like, hey, how do you get people to want to work for you? And, like, I was an okay manager, not a great manager at the time, I'd say. But I didn't exactly, like, I understood the question, but I didn't exactly, like, understand it, like, to the point where I understood the importance of, like, what he meant, you know? When someone asks you, like, how do you get people to want to work for you? And I'm like, well, like, to me, I'm like, they get paid a paycheck. Like, I mean, that should be enough, right? But the reality is like, there's different things that make different people tick, you know? And so as a leader, sometimes you have to adjust your style to your team or to people that work with you or under you to get them motivated to, like, want to work. And it really, like, to me, it shouldn't exactly be that way, because you, like, people should, like, want to get, like, you know, be motivated to get paid and stuff, because that's their job. But at the same time, everybody's human beings, and, like, sometimes you have to get them motivated, figure out what makes them tick to make so, like, they want to come to work every day and, like, want to work with you and for you, because if you can do that, they'll actually work harder for you than if you just tell them, like, well, this is your job and you get paid to do this, do your fucking job kind of thing. So, and after he asked me that question, it was probably like 2 years later, I actually got it, where I really learned, like, what he meant by that. And he had a lot more years of management experience than I did at the time. So the point is like, you know, with Rich Bisaccia, the players wanted to work for Rich Bisaccia. So I think they tried a lot harder. And now if players aren't wanting to work for Josh McDaniels, they're not going to work as hard, and they're going to kind of check out, you know. So I mean, that's important. You have to like, and you know, Josh McDaniels, even if he was a good coach, good play caller, and all that, I mean, just his scratchy like voice. I'm not saying my voice is the best, but if like someone like is like yelling or talking and it sounds like fingernails on a chalkboard, that could be an issue too. Just like his voice could just be annoying to players. So I don't know, but all right, Silver and Black 831 said, we got an owner with 3 Stooges bowl cut. What possibly could go wrong? He's like, we're all like this, like 3 Stooges. Like, do you guys ever stay up late and like you be flipping on the like TV, like old black and white? You're like, oh, the 3 Stooges is on. You're like, I would fucking watch this shit. Like, Scorpio said, Raider alumni coaches are nothing. Tired of talks. We need a coach. We need that coach. We need a Raider in charge. We do, but I don't know what ones. I mean, like, I'm not against that. It just I don't know what ones would fit that mold from like the vision of what it means to be a Raider, as well as the skill set and the resume. Because just because you're a good player doesn't mean you're going to be a good head coach. So, like, I agree with that, but I just don't know if there's anybody that fits that mold. You know. Like, as much as I like Charles Woodson, I don't think Charles Woodson, and I love Charles Woodson, I don't think he'd be a good head coach in the NFL. He wasn't, like, he was vocal at times, but I don't know if he would be, like, I'm not saying he couldn't be a good head coach, but I just don't know if he, like, would want that role or, like, what it would take or, like, that vocal kind of leader, you know. So the season brings 2018 vibes. I was thinking 2017, but yeah, I agree. Could be both. Rob Jackson, Buck fans. Oh, dude, I can't keep reading this, man. Why you keep talking about the Bucks, bro? All right. Scorpio said Mark Davis owns Las Vegas Aces and they won a championship. Mark Davis been owning us and we can't even get over 500. It's crazy, man. Do you guys hear Mark Davis supposedly went in the locker room after the game? Morig, I don't know, because, like, didn't he have a hip injury? So, like, I know a lot of people hating on Morig, but I'm curious if he's playing, like, hurt. Like, he might be playing with, like, a hip injury. From like the first or second week. Well, you're right about being the 31st poorest team. Now we're like the 5th richest. We can get bonuses and stuff, so fuck C Raider. Fire McNugget. Mark Davis is the only owner that makes his money off of football only. No, he's got the Aces now. So David Carr, Darren Carr are both high school head coaches. What could we lose? Get the Carr brothers in, huh? Jamarcus Russell reason rookie cap now. Taking home blank tapes and saying he studied them. Yeah, Jamarcus Russell was probably the worst draft pick ever. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna get out of here. Unless you guys got anything else to say. Unless it's about the Bucks. I'm tired of hearing about the Bucks, bro. So, you know what I gotta say about that, Rob? I say the buck stops here. From here on out, we're gonna win a fucking game. Got to play the Donkeys next week. We gotta go in there and crush some donkey heads. But at this point, I don't know if we're gonna win any more fucking games. So, all right, guys, gave you my little spiel. Tried to include the chat a little bit. Make sure you guys subscribe, like, and don't forget about the giveaway. Saturday, Thanksgiving weekend. I know most of y'all be with family, but we got Watts Raider coming on. He's got some days off, so we're gonna do a show with Watts Raider, and we're gonna give away this awesome jersey. It's like beautiful silver. Look at that silver. You ain't get better than that. This ain't no cheap ass shit. It's a large size, so if this one's medium because this one's mine, but the one I'm giving away is a brand new one. It's a large, exact same one. So, anyways, so make sure you guys subscribe and you're there for that giveaway live in the chat, and hopefully, someone cool in the Raider Nation wins this thing. This is from when I said like 3 or 4 years ago, if I hit 500 subs, I was going to do a giveaway. This is what this is for. So I'm keeping my word. Hopefully one day we'll get up to 1,000 subs. But that's always going to be my, my thing is just, put out content. Usually don't ask for subs too much. But if I get 1,000 subs, then I can, live stream from my phone, and that might be cool. So, but other than that, I'm not like, not like most cats out there where they're like, begging for subs and, wanting to make money off doing Raider content. So this channel was created to where we can bring other, YouTubers and, content creators together, create unity, chop it up, talk Raiders. And so, looking forward to having Watts on here in a few weeks. Hopefully Raider Dave will be on and Raider Critique, and then we're working on having some guests lined up as well. So, appreciate you guys hanging there, and I just hope, even if whatever we do with Derek Carr and me as a critic, I just hope Derek Carr, if he's getting set up for failure, I just hope he shows this coaching staff, everybody wrong, me included, and he fucking balls out. I'd love to have a top draft pick to get an awesome QB like Bryce Young or CJ Stroud, but at this point it's just like a battle for a man's career and reputation, and I think that's worth something fighting for, because to me that's worth more than a draft pick. I think we can always figure that shit out down the road, but being 2-7 really sucks. So I'd like for us to win some games and for Derek Carr to ball out and, turn this thing around, tired of this mediocrity fucking team. So, but we'll see what happens. We'll get a show lined up. Checking the channel every so often, see if we're going to do a show. I'll try to post it when I do. But Raider Nation for life. Go Raiders. And we'll see you next time. Later.